What's good, family? Hope everyone's having a blessed Sunday afternoon. Of course, this is your boy Jared O11 Green with another episode of the Southern Baller Show. Of course, I have my brothers who could come on. Coach 67 Sports TV, JB, of course. You know how we do it. If Big Joe and Bronwyn So and Brent Fox can hop on, they will. But other than that, Coach, how you doing today?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How y'all gentlemen doing this afternoon?
Can't complain about anything.
Same here, man. Ready to talk about some sports, man. This
Already,
Sunday.
already.
Now it'll be. I know we were gonna go into boxing and Usyk and Fox and Ford fight that was happening yesterday, but it'll be a disservice if we did not talk about that very competitive series in the NBA Western Conference Finals. OKC and the Spurs versus the San Antonio Spurs. Um, Coach, you know you are a basketball man, and I got my thoughts on the series as well. It was a good series. Wemby is that dude. He's dangerous, especially when he can get that three pointer. And if he gets set in the paint and get his shot off, it's almost unstoppable. But Coach, we're gonna go ahead and go with you first, being our NBA guy. You're actually a basketball coach. What was your thoughts on the game Friday?
I'm not gonna lie. It was a well. It wasn't Friday. It was last night.
Well, it's Saturday. I'm tripping. Yeah, it was last night, Saturday.
Uh,
What was your
First
thoughts
of
on the
all,
game Saturday?
first of all, it was a hell of a series. I got to give props to Rude Dog because him and his brother that's coming with me to the meet and greet. If the law says the same, they both picked. I'm talking about a couple rounds ago. They was like, "Oh, it's gonna be the Spurs and the Knicks in the NBA Finals," and I'm like, "Bro, what they gonna do with OKC?" And of course, my mom wanted the Spurs to win also, but I'm not gonna lie, it was a hell of a series. I think my major takeaway is they really missed Jalen Williams last night, J Dub, because it put
Yes,
an
sir.
immense it put an immense amount of pressure on SGA from a ball handling standpoint. Like late in the game, SGA was exhausted because I'm not gonna lie, the Spurs were blitzing him. It got to the point where they were like, "Hey, anybody else is gonna beat us besides SGA." So SGA really couldn't get off
And
like
they
late in the
is.
game. Late in
There's
the
some
game.
question.
That's one thing. Another thing too. So they really missed Jalen Williams last night. I'm not gonna lie. I thought OKC, even despite Jalen Williams being out, I thought they were gonna win the series because they were 3.5 point favorites going into last night's game. One of the rare times that Vegas was wrong was last night because it's all about money when it comes to them. So astonishing they were wrong. And then in addition to that, Chet Holmgren was invisible last night. Man, this dude was third in the MVP race. This dude was third in the MVP race, and this dude, to me, he kind of been MIA
Hey,
most of
Coach,
the.
real fast. Do I sound muffled?
Huh?
Do I sound muffled?
You bet you sound better now.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
just doing a sound check. My apologies. Go ahead.
I know you good, but like I was saying, to say Chet Holmgren came third in the MVP race, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I never really saw him being that guy. I think it was more of a package deal in terms of them winning the championship last year from the perspective of SGA was the top guy, and you couldn't shut down all three of them. If you was in Indiana last year in the NBA Finals. So the fact that Jalen Williams is out, I expected Chet Holmgren to step his game up, and the reason why I picked OKC was because the fact that they were defending champions. But Wimby, I'm not gonna lie, he a beast. De'Aaron Fox, Castle, just the whole. I mean, they're gonna be scary if they. I'm picking San Antonio to win the championship because, truthfully speaking, I'm not gonna lie. I think the Knicks gonna be rested. I think the Knicks might be able to, get game one. I think it's gonna be a good series also in terms of the NBA Finals. But I really don't see who gonna stop Wemby for one. But I'm not gonna lie. The Knicks got a lot of good wing players like OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. Josh Hart used to play with my Pelicans. But I mean, you got to stop Castle, Vessel, Fox, Wemby. So I'm not gonna lie, I expect a hell of a series. But I'm not gonna say shocked, but I was a little bit surprised that winning the championship last year, that even without Jalen Williams, that OKC couldn't find a way to pull out the fire. But the fact that Chet Holmgren was a no-show, I think he overrated. And at the end of the day, it was a hell of a series. And, hats off to OKC, but I'm not going to lie. San Antonio really, they kind of showed. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks is going to really try to deal with Wemby. I don't know if they're going to try to double him, Cat, going to try to play him straight up. Me personally, I know it might sound crazy, but the fact that the early part in the series, OKC put Alex Caruso on him. I wouldn't put a guard on it, but I wouldn't put a big on him. I would put a wing player on it. So I would either put Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby on it. But overall, it was a phenomenal series.
I agree with you 100%. It was a very good series, and not being I like watching basketball, love the sport, but not I wouldn't say I'm an in-depth basketball guy. But I know something about it. Brent Fox, appreciate you for joining us, brother. What's going on?
Man, salute, brother Brent.
Hey, man, I'm so happy to
Salute,
be on
Brent.
here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so y'all was talking about the finals, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So I'm not gonna pretend to be a basketball aficionado, but I do know competition. So just kind of looking on paper, you would think I think San Antonio, just from a practical common sense standpoint, San Antonio should win that series because of their depth. But I don't know. Stranger things have actually happened with these New York franchises. But I do know, especially from It Is What It Is with Mason Cam, if the New York Knicks happen to win the NBA championship, I'm interested to see what the city of New York is going to look like after that.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. Now, I'm gonna say this: a lot of people are going ahead because Wemby looks unstoppable. Now, Wemby gonna get his, but the thing is, uh, a lot of people are missing that we know Chet did not show up. For some reason. Hey, Brent, you got some noise in the background. I think you can be on the move, brother. Never mind, you got it. You muted yourself. But Chet was a no-show. I like you put it, Coach. I think he was in his own head. I think Wemby was in his head as far as his defensive presence. So, but still, there's no excuse. You got to go out on your shield and do something. You know what I mean? It's a game 7. You got to do something. You got to do something. And he was a no-show. And the other Jalen Williams, the power forward, did his thing. I'm blanking on number 22 name with the dreads. He Jason Watts, and Jared McClain and Alex Cruiser off the bench. They did their thing. Now, with me saying this, right? If to Coach's point, if Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, the starter,
J-Dub. Really, I
J-Dub,
think J-Dub really more of a 6-man off the bench to me.
right? if he would have played, because he has very good defense as well, um, it would. I think it would have been a difference. I think they made even one. I'm going to say it. I ain't going to play with it. I think they would even won last night. But
Yeah, me too.
but not taking anything away from Wemby and the Spurs, they did their thing. Uh, Especially Fox and number 30, Julian Champagne, of which
Oh
that was
yeah,
named, forgive me.
I ain't gonna lie, Champagne a dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was hot off the and Stephen Castle. That dude is a dog. Now I feel like they may run into another dog fight with the Knicks. We're gonna see if they have enough in the tank to uh, beat try to beat the Knicks. Because Jalen Brunson is an assassin. I'm gonna go as far as say he's more of a dog than SGA. Am I tripping? As far as initiative, um, just just he got the midi. You know what I mean? He know when to take it to the hole. Don't get me wrong, SGA is a dog. That's why he's the MVP. But coach, am I tripping if I'm saying this? Because you the
Oh,
basketball dude.
oh no, I'm not gonna lie. Brunson a dog. I mean, just imagine when he was playing with the Dallas Mavericks. Uh, they were playing against the Jazz in one series, right? And Luca had gotten hurt, and and of course,
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. Uh, of course, we know Wemby is from France. However, my boy used to play with the Jazz. He the starting center from the T Wolves. I'm blanking on his name. He's defensive player of the year. Shucks. I can't think of his name. But anyway, Brunson stepped in once once Luca got hurt, right? And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna lie, we thinking, okay, uh, the Dallas Mavericks, they're gonna lose now. Man, I kid you not. That was kind of like the coming out party for Jalen Brunson. And man, I'm like, bro, this boy is gonna be that guy. Of course. I knew I'm talking Rudy Gobert, right? So I'm not gonna lie, Brunson took advantage of the fact that Rudy Gobert more of a traditional center from like the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. He's not one of these modern day stretch fives like Wemby, you know what I'm saying? Rudy Gobert is more of a traditional center. And Rudy Gobert, kind of like Shaq, he didn't want to come out the paint. He want to play all this drop coverage. And man, Brunson just tore the Jazz up in that series, you know what I'm saying? That really kind of led to eventually the Jazz trading Gobert and also trading Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs, right?
Mhm.
So, of course, once that series was over, Brunson kind of became, they're like, man, this guy got a lot of potential. And what ended up happening was he was a free agent at the end of that year, and the Knicks took a gamble, and they went all in on him being a potential star. And man, I'm not gonna lie, that was one hell of a gamble because guess what? From that point forward, it was really no looking back. Jalen Brunson, he a dog. I mean, don't get me wrong. Uh, he made second team All NBA. Of course, SGA was first team All NBA and the league MVP. So yeah, I would say Jalen Brunson a dog, but he really like a all first. I mean, he an all team below SGA. So he a dog, but he like a tier below him. Truthfully speaking.
To me, IQ is amazing. Let me explain and um, what I mean. So, like the game before last, that they eliminated the Cavaliers. Um, the game before that one, he was 0-4 in 3 pointing, shooting the three, coach. So what he did was, you know what, the threes ain't falling. Let me go to the basket. Let me stay with the mid, shooting the mid. And I was just
I
okay.
mean,
This is smart. And he got 30. He still got 30 points. Just being smart, not rushing, not forcing shots.
and he gives other people. I haven't seen Brunson really shoot his team out of games like I see a Harden
SGA.
and SGA. Um, him and one of my other favorite players, Cade Cunningham. Now, Cade need to work on his turnovers, but
Yes, sir.
but when he turned the ball, he usually trying to pass it. Him and Brunson is good at trying to get up his other players involved, but I think um, with the OKCs and San Antonio series, it was a great competitive series. I just knew that this was Wemby time. How Wemby was playing this year, how he destroyed in the regular season game, how he destroyed my Pistons. Anybody who know I am a Detroit Pistons fan. Um, we just got good 2 seasons ago. This year and last year. I've been actually enjoying the Pistons playing basketball this year. Yeah, we need. I'm just gonna leave it like that. We need another player. We'll be alright. But as far as the series, um, Wimby is balling. Vassell is a dog, and I like Fox game. Fox is more of a slasher type dude, and he can make big shots when they need it.
He sure
And
can.
San Antonio is deep. And I was telling everybody, I was talking to Jared, during the series, I said, man, both of these teams
Oh,
got
deep.
deep benches. So this is going to come down to coaching and whoever top player is going to step up. And that's what happened. Chet didn't step up, especially when he had one of the Williams, one of their
Yeah,
big players was down. This was
yeah.
his time to step up. So, congratulations to San Antonio. And as far as your question with Brunson, I think Brunson is probably one of the best, probably top five best players in the NBA. He doesn't get any recognition like that as far as when you talk about SGA and the other ones. Um, but you comparing him to SGA, SGA is a dog. However, I like Brunson's game better because he don't look for fouls. He got that to me. He got that James Harden game where offensively, if you make a mistake on him, he's looking for the referee to get him to the free throw line. I'm not a fan of that, me
Yeah.
personally. Um, and don't get me started on that Pistons Cavaliers game. I was cussing at the TV and everything. But anyway, yeah. So I like this. Gonna be interesting. If Brunson and the Knicks can win this series, if they play smart basketball. Um, they have to make their mid-range shot. Wimby is a human fly swatter. He gonna swat everything. You got to get him off balance. You can't attack him
Straight up.
straight up. So it's gonna be a interesting series.
That is
And,
well said.
and one other thing I want to bring up, just think about it. The Sacramento Kings had both De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton as their backcourt. And Halliburton went to the finals last year. They lost, of course, they lost to OKC last year, and he was hurt out for the year. And this year, De'Aaron Fox is with the Spurs. It's crazy how you had both of them players on your team, and you can never get over the hump. So it's crazy how certain players leave certain franchises and they take off and thrive just the way I was talking about Jalen Brunson after he had that breakout series against the Jazz, and it led to once he became a free agent that he, eventually he ended up, getting a big deal with the Knicks, and the Knicks went all in on him, and they made a great bet and a great gamble on him, and it worked out. Oh, and one other thing too for JB and Jared, it looks like we're gonna have another show in terms of the wrestling aspect of it, because Brock Lesnar just beat over Femi not too long ago, and Jade Cargill
Yep.
lost. Jade Cargill lost to what's her name, Rhea Ripley. So we definitely have to address that on our wrestling show.
Yeah, because
we knew it.
we called it. We called it. We said, how long are they gonna keep them titles? How long are they gonna keep the push? Are they gonna keep? And yeah, they let an old ass Brock Lesnar retire and then come. Nah, I ain't messing with that storyline. But that's why a lot of people start watching wrestling. But continue.
Yeah, we can speak all day and all night about that. But Brent, we don't want to eat up the conversation, man. Based on what the other brother said, from what you heard, the
Western
math
Conference
is said.
Finals.
The math is said. Oh, Spurs versus the Knicks. Who you got?
Oh no! Before we jump into the NBA Finals, what Brent Fox started the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You said you want me to talk about the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah,
if
the
you
game
happen to
last
catch
night.
it,
If you caught.
Oh, yeah, I did catch like we had like a family function yesterday. But I did catch like the last part of it. I kind of figured that they were doing a strategy to try to foul Wembley as much as possible to try to make him a non-factor. I think that they're gonna try. I think the Knicks are gonna try to do that in this series as well to to try to frazzle or frustrate Wemby. They can't stop him otherwise, so they got to do something. But yeah, I think the Hacker Shack 2.0 is going to be in effect with their game plan to try to stop or slow down Wemby. But I think that San Antonio is probably still going to win though.
Okay. Well, you covered both questions, though. Appreciate that, Brent Fox.
Yeah,
let's see what
absolutely.
we got in the chat. J6 said, howdy fellas, what's going on, brother? Good show last night, man. Or last night. I'm tripping. Friday night, man. You 86 Goats and
Big Red.
Big Red, man. So y'all, if y'all don't know, J6 and her brothers have good content over there, so please support. He said it's going to be Wemby's length versus Brunson's pound for pound willpower. That is, yeah, I agree 100%. He said, I love the way the Pistons have drafted and signed certain players. Y'all are certainly one of my favorite dark horses to watch. Unfortunately.
Yeah, man, we need one more player, man, because Duran needs to work on his offensive game. He couldn't do nothing but pick and roll and do like get hustle points, I call them. Putbacks and stuff. And then the other boy, Thompson, Sword Thompson. He's one of the best players in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball. He shut Harden down. He was one of the reasons why Harden had a terrible series with us for most of the series. He needs to get in the gym and work on his offensive game as well. Because as soon as he gets to the rim, he's looking to pass. He's not looking to score.
Hey, if y'all want, we can trade y'all Zion. You know what I'm saying?
Man, nobody want no Zion. Zion ain't gonna be good to us on the bench. And healthy Zion, hell yeah. But nah, man, he showed me he's not disciplined enough, man. And he got so much potential. He could be this generation's Charles Barkley, but he wanna eat. So
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the weight is as much of an issue as it was last year. But even when he wasn't picking up and gaining the weight, he still can't stay healthy. That's my biggest issue with him.
yeah, man. Yeah, you can't be. What somebody say? You ain't can't be too good in the tub, man. You gotta be healthy to your team out there on the field or on the court. So
No, like Bill Parcells say, the best of ability is availability.
yes,
And just want to go into the chat, fellas, real fast. Jay Barr says, salute to the family in chat. What's going on? Appreciate you coming by. J6 said Jalen Duren has to look deep within on some power of assault after the Lakers losing the '08 championship type of offseason yet. Kings are just cursed at this point. Yeah, Kings have been good at a minute. To have Halliburton and Fox is crazy, and they still lost. Yeah,
yeah. Somebody like Coach mentioned, somebody should be fired.
right.
How you have both of them and then they gone and they in the finals the next 5 years? Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
else need to be gone after that.
Same with Maverick with Luka and Brunson. Yep. And my boy Adrian Crook, he said, "What's good? What's going on, Crook?" Southern Jaguar fan in the building. The Jackson State Troll. Yes, sir. But y'all, let's move on to the UFL real fast. I want to know and knock that out the way. So the UFL, the season is pretty much. So they got one game left. Let me see.
I think they had it this weekend, I believe. I mean, this weekend.
Yeah, they did. Week 10. So let me share my screen so y'all can see.
Oh, I'm thinking y'all are asking, do y'all is there a UFL game today or something?
No. We was asking if it was the last week. It is, and yeah, there is a game today. The Louisville Kings and the Aviators. So if the Louisville Kings win, they might make it into the playoffs. They've been on a 3-game winning streak. So you got, unfortunately, Brent Fox's Dallas Renegades won.
What the hell you mean, unfortunately?
Now, I'm Louisville Kings, man. No, just joking, man.
Damn Louisville Kings. I don't even want to hear their damn name no damn more.
But they did win against St. Louis Battlehawks 2016.
That was a terrible year. Think about it.
Yeah, Austin Reed is not it, man. Reed is not it. The quarterback, yeah, he's not it.
No, I was talking about that score of 2016. I said that was a terrible year.
Oh.
But also, I just want to bring up the point. Austin Reed, he threw him. If he would have kept a lot of them picks to himself, he would have been won a lot of games. But he's been throwing interceptions left and right.
Yeah. He basically, he is basically turned into another infamous Dallas quarterback, whom I used to actually make fun of or enjoy making fun of a lot. And I guess this is karma for my UFL team, because the same person I'm making fun of, Austin Reed, is playing the same way. Like, yeah, he can actually, he can actually put up some great stats and he can make some awesome throws. But every time it's clutch time, you got to hold your breath and figure out, okay, is he gonna throw one now, or oh my goodness, okay, this is the worst time to do it. Oh yeah, he's gonna do it, and then he does it. Yeah. So for those that don't know, I used to make fun of Tony Romo a lot. Okay, so I guess this is karma for me making fun of Tony Romo because I'm actually cheering for a Dallas team, and that's what I get for doing that.
Well, always next year. Anyway,
Man, what else? Hope you and your Louisville Kings. Hope y'all play Orlando and they beat the brakes off y'all.
and
I ain't gonna do a full JB. I ain't gonna do no full JB, but I hope they beat the blank off y'all.
The dog shit out y'all at.
Yeah. We had to.
But
hey, Louisville King is gonna find.
Damn, Louisville King.
they don't even got. They ain't got Jason Bean no more. Jerry. They done traded him, shipped him to DC to the DC Defenders.
What?
Yeah, man. Because Rogers been gone.
Oh, okay. So you approve that then? Okay. Let me find out.
Cool, but hey, the results is what it is, man. That's all I'm saying.
I thought you made a few calls to the front office and made that happen.
Hey, you never know. Probably did. But
damn, Louisville. Y'all sound like an old ass R&B group. I hate y'all. These are just jokes I'm playing. I'm not gonna do no whole Kevin Hart roast type stuff. These are just jokes.
Oh no.
Nah, you ain't gonna let no white people say nigga and that.
Boy. Yeah, I don't even want to get off subject with that one, but yeah, we'll stick to the UFL.
Right.
Dang, I'm Louisville King.
Well, they be funny. They made races. That's it. Carlos Rodman Chandler. But anyway, Houston Gamblers beat the Birmingham Stallions 26-13. Orlando Storm. Yep. The Orlando Storm beat the DC Defenders with no one is surprised. Is surprised because the Orlando Storm is the best team in the UFL right now. 29.
Still got that momentum.
Yeah, they sure do. And then, of course, like I just said, the last game of the season, of the regular season, anyway, is Louisville Kings versus the Columbus Aviators. So we went out. You might see us in the playoffs. I'm excited about that. I ain't gonna lie. Let me go to the comment section. Y'all said, J6 said, I'll never cheer for Dallas and I live in Texas. Damn. Great. How do you feel about the addition of Michael Pittman Jr.?
Oh, I actually feel great about that addition. It gives us another dimension at receiver, and you don't have to just worry about one guy. Oh, we'll double cover DK, and then we'll dare you to throw the ball to somebody like Pat Fryermuth or any other receiver that we had. Unfortunately, Calvin Austin, besides him just getting hurt, he just, for whatever reason, just wasn't good at separating on his routes. And I mean, he is very fast, but for whatever reason, man, he just could not get good separation on some of the routes that he actually ran. And, ultimately that that cost him like a contract extension. I think he went somewhere else. I just forget what team he went to. But yeah, this adds another dimension to receiving. And then we drafted a guy, Jeremy Bernard from Alabama in the second round. So, hopefully our receiving core will step up this year. I actually like Roman Wilson. We drafted him like a couple of years back in the third round from Michigan. He just hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities, but I think with this addition of Michael Pittman Jr., that's going to help some of the other guys actually get open. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I just hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, it would be good for my fellow Ravens. We need to make sure our secondary is on point, which I believe it is, especially since we got John Harbaugh out of there. But let's stay on topic.
Yeah, okay.
My brother Grover Soul said, salute, great brothers. What's going on, man?
Salute Grover Soul.
Salute to your family.
So
I'm telling you, if y'all trying to get your growing game improved or just start a guard, you just don't know how to start a guard. Watch this brother talk to you. Good stuff over there. 86 said, have drafted numerous Pro Bowlers, All Pros, and potential Hall of Famers, and still just can't get over the hump. Yeah. I think he's talking about Dallas. But as far as the UFL, let's look at the standings real quick, fellas. So, as I said, Orlando Storm is 8-2. So, look. So, what does the P mean? I want to make sure. P beside that name. Points playoffs.
Playoffs from.
Yep. So that means we already in the playoffs. So Louisville Kings are in the playoffs. The Defenders are in the playoffs. St. Louis Battlehawks are in the playoffs, and then of course Orlando Storm are in the playoffs.
Oh, that's right. They did have a good little run, like mid season, or what you call it, St. Louis. Okay.
Yeah, and then that means that even if the Louisville Kings lose this game tonight, or this evening, they still go to the playoffs. So congratulations to them, because they had a rough go of it in the beginning of the year. It looked like they was going to be the worst team in the league. They got it together.
Yeah, that running game really helped y'all out.
But Brent Fox overall, man. Maybe I'm being too early, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask. I might end up asking again in the future. And I'm just gonna ask you and JB, because I know Coach not really, he caught a couple of games, and not like that. But overall, do you think this can be a long-lasting league, man?
You know what? If it turns out to be a successful feeder league, yes. If it's trying to stand on its own, maybe not so much. But if it turns into like a feeder league where you have some success stories with guys that played for the UFL coming over to the NFL and being successful, yes, it'll last.
Okay, Jay Smith, first time me seeing you in here, Birmingham Stallion fan in the building. Salute, welcome. Sorry, unfortunately, your team did not make the playoffs, but wasn't they defending champions last year?
No, I think it was the DC Defenders. I believe.
DC Defenders.
Yeah, DC Defenders won it last year. You're right, JB.
But knowing the Stallions, yeah, they won. I think they won it before they emerged to the UFL.
Yeah,
So
they were back to back, wasn't it? Or yeah, am I tripping or were they back to back?
I can't remember
Yeah,
if they were
in
back to back.
the UFL or the whatever league they have before they
USFL.
USFL before they merged. Yeah. So, but
But
the
they're a
Birmingham
good
Stallions
team.
was all. Yeah, they always been one of the best teams. Them and the Defenders, the best teams in the league, especially last year. They was competing with the Defenders. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They were back to back in the USFL 2022 and 22. So they have a good foundation. Uh, he said they'll bounce back next year. Okay, okay. I hear Jay Smith. But we got our brother on here. Big Joseph Townsend, LDC business is in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's good with y'all? What's cracking? What's happening? What it do? What it be like? Happy Sunday. What's going on with y'all?
Man,
What's
salute, Big
shaking?
Joe.
What's shaking out here in these streets?
Ain't nothing, man. We just talking about ball. Just talk. You just missed us talking about the Western Conference Finals, so we can real fast. We can get your take on it. Well, one, what did you think of the Spurs beating OKC, and then
Okay.
the current matchup for the finals, the Spurs versus the Knicks.
Yeah, I think that was a good series. As somebody who grew up watching the '90s basketball, where you have enforcers, we have like guys like Dennis Rodman, when you guys have Charles Oakley, and when guys play physical, that's the kind of brand of ball that I like watching. And then the last several games of the Western Conference Finals, that's what we saw. The referees let them play. I'm not into in this new generation of basketball. Almost everybody's flopping. You swing your arms, they act like they just got hit with a 12 gauge. So it's just that's getting real old to where now coaches are teaching players to flop to get calls. Now I miss the old school days to where unless you wasn't bleeding, it wasn't a foul. So I'm glad that the last couple games they let the players decide, and the better team won. To win any championship, to win any playoff series, you have to win on the road, and the Spurs did that. They literally won in OKC's backyard. In OKC, nobody showed up besides SGA. When your second best player, Chet, when he's making $200+ million, he only gives you four points in like 38, 40 minutes. That ain't gonna cut it. So a lot of people are asking for him to get traded. A lot of people saw that, he was literally afraid of Victor Wembanyama. So shout out to Victor. He's a player that everybody said that Kobe Bryant would love and appreciate, because he has the mentality of I am the best, I want to be the best, I want to play the best, and if you think you're the best, you're going to go through me to prove it. So shout out to the Spurs. I know the OKC and the Spurs are not the franchise that are the most popular or have the most cachet, but all you can do is just play who you can play, and the Spurs show that they are the best team in the West. And Victor Wembanyama proved to the league, but also to the Thunder that SGA is not the MVP. I'm the MVP. So shout out to them. And then regarding the Knicks and Spurs, that's going to be a tough series. I want to see how Cat's going to react when it comes to Victor Wembanyama. So from my understanding, I think the Spurs may have the edge over them in the season. I'm not sure, but it's going to be interesting to see how the big guys going to come to play. So Victor's been balling out, and then we're gonna see how Brunson gonna do. Brunson is a ball dominant guard who can get buckets, but he's a defensive liability. So yeah, this series is gonna be about role players. If the role players are gonna step up, and the Spurs, they play clamp down defense. The Knicks can play clamp down defense as well, but some say that they haven't really played nobody yet. So this is going to be great. Got a small market team versus a big market team. So you even can see that when it comes to the price difference of even going to the games. I think for a Spurs home entry game, just to sit in the nosebleed, 2,200. Knicks nosebleed tickets are like 4,500. I'm sure the floor tickets is probably cocaine prices. So but it's gonna be a great series. I can't wait to watch it. Basketball needed a shake up like this. They needed a great story, and Victor Wembanyama, he is the kind of superstar that will lead the NBA to the forefront. Now, even though he's not American, even though a lot of people are looking for the best next American NBA superstar, everybody thought that Ant-Man probably could be that guy, but it looks like the next face of the NBA is going to be the alien. So shout out to the Knicks and the Spurs. It's going to be a great series.
It's definitely gonna be a great series, and let me get your take real fast on the UFL. And hold on, before we go into it, let me thank you, Jay Smith, man, for subscribing. I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel. Big Reg, what's going on, my brother? He said salute. Like I said, and like I said before, he came in here. Please sub to the brother's channel. Good content over there. My brother Steph Boone, he said Chet was MIA, like hard and decent. Man, I'm tell you, if Chet would at least put 15 to 11 points up yesterday, it would probably be talking about something different. But I think he was just scared of Wendy was in his head, man. And he said, Steve Beasley said, Ant too busy having a relationship with these IG models. Facts. But Big Joe, the UFL. So if you didn't know, Orlando Storm, St. Louis Battlehawks, Louisville Kings, DC Defenders. You see the P beside the name. That means they all are in the current playoff berths.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the teams below: Houston Gamblers, Beham Stallions, Dallas Renegades, and Columbus Aviators missed the playoffs this year. This year.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were your thoughts on the year? And do you think this time? We enjoyed this football. We thought football was clinched the thirds of us football heads. Do you think this league can be long lasting?
First off, congratulate to all the teams that made it to the playoffs, especially Louisville. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
shout out to
Yes,
them.
sir.
You know what I mean? So shout out to my dog SBZ in the chat. SBZ was trying to go to the last two home games. He was trying to go, but if you never lived in Louisville, you don't understand that the weather, it could be on some bull jive. So the two last home games for Louisville, it was literally looking like Jumanji outside, So even and I feel them. Even if the Niners are playing and it's raining, I ain't going either. So ain't got nothing to do with the quality of football. But shout out to Louisville. Regarding the league, this is a phenomenal league. Again, you have players who are still looking for an opportunity, who don't want to, dim the light on their NFL career, and want to put something on tape, to see maybe they can get a practice squad spot. Because again, if you make the practice squad, that's $300,000 right there. $300,000 is life changing money to somebody, who's just getting out of college, or who is working a regular gig and still working out to play in the UFL. $300,000 can go a long way. And who never knows? Then you get signed to the active squad, and now you're making $500,000-$600,000. So shout out to all the players who still put themselves out there, to hopefully get an opportunity. Worst case scenario, if they don't make a practice squad, they got a check playing, and they found some new brotherhood with, with your teammates. No matter if you only played for a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, you're gonna form a brotherhood with your teammates, and that's gonna last a lifetime. So I still communicate with some of my college teammates, and we talk about some things, so shout out to everybody in the UFL. Will it be a lasting league? I think it'll be a lasting league as long as the NFL allows it. I know the NFL was partnering with the UFL. I know The Rock and everybody, they were trying to make it like a farm system, and the NFL needs a farm system. So just like with the minor league baseball games don't sell out. Their games are not, they're not expensive tickets. I can go to the minor league San Francisco Giants game for like $5-10, be in the building. The best thing about the game is the barbecue that they sell there,
Right.
so, or you can, before they used to hand out free tickets at home improvement stores. They literally be on the counter. Here you go, here's some 2 tickets to go to the game. And you'll go with your family, have a good time. And you get to see some guys who are trying to make an active, baseball roster, or you see some guys, some prospects who are down there for a little bit trying to get better. So that's what the UFL is for. And the NFL, every league has a farm system except the NFL. As long as they tie themselves to the UFL, I think it should last as long as they want to, because the NFL got enough money to funnel through, to that, to the league to keep it going. So I'm not worried about the stands. I'm not worried about who's showing up or not. The NFL can keep it going if they want to. And, again, this is more about not only players getting an opportunity to play, you got guys like Ted Jr. getting an opportunity to coach, to see, where he's at, and to see how if he can maybe be an assistant coach in the NFL, maybe be a position coach. These are a great opportunity for guys to get practice, to get, as they say, real reps in, and to see where they're at. So I think it's a phenomenal league, regardless if everybody watches it or not.
I agree 100%. My brother Desmond Allen in the chat, and I hold that thought, baby. Desmond Allen said, "My guys, Jay Green and Coach 67 Sports TV. How you doing?" I'm good, brother. Appreciate you coming by.
Man, salute to the family. You did.
Yes, sir. That's my HBCU Fanatics family over there, right there. Jay Smith said, "I would like to see the winner of Louisville versus Battlehawks win it all." Yeah, I would like to see that too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But JB, because Brent answered the question and Big Joe answered the question. Same question. How did you think about the season, and then will it be a last? Will it be able to survive future seasons? Will it not fold like the USFL and the XFL?
Man, first of all, to answer the first question, I enjoyed it. It was football. I got to see guys that I watched in college, HBCUs, and PWIs play ball in smaller schools, and players that just be sitting on the practice squad, seeing them get to play, man, that was good, man, and you get to see why they was on the practice squad, or they got cut, or didn't get drafted. So, but still, hey, it is what it is. Some people, with that league, and it makes your decision easier. Y'all remember Paxton Lynch? They gave I think it was the USFL or one of them leagues, or UFL or XFL. I meant tried to come back, tried to get Paxton Lynch a shot. He was terrible. That boy was garbage, and that made his decision even fast. I don't need to be playing this no more. I was a good solid QB, and that's pretty much it. But other than that, man, you get to see ball, man, and you get to see if you're just looking at NFL or certain Power 5 schools in college, then you're not going to enjoy it anyway. To me, you're not a true football fan. I can watch a high school football game and enjoy football. That's just the type of person I am, But as for your second question, Jared. Hell yeah, they can keep the league going. Cause can't nobody tell me what's the name of the team of the G League. Ain't nobody.
Right.
What team it is? But you know what? They to Joe's point, and I wanted to piggyback off Joe's point. It's a farming league. You know, Bronny had to go down there. LeBron James' son had to go down there a couple of games and get right. You know what I'm saying? And then come back up. And they brought him back up. They can do the same thing with the NFL. You a draft pick or undrafted player that you may not be ready for the NFL. You didn't get picked or what for whatever reason. Hey, you can go down there and make some noise in the UFL. Look at you and a coach boy. What's his name? Jarvian Howard, HBCU boy.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, he balling over there, man. He balling down there. So yeah, man, they should be able to keep it going, but who knows, man, what the NFL gonna do? They may look at it as another competition or a bill they don't want to pay. So who knows?
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
gonna lie, the NFL, not just the NFL, the NBA, they've been known to do janky type stuff anyway. Anybody that they feel or deem to be competition, just think about it. The NBA didn't even really want the Big Three league, like
True.
doing things or having all these former NBA players playing, and I'm like, bro, they are not a threat to y'all. They're just another form of entertainment. So I'm not gonna lie, when you get these professional leagues that got monopolies like the NFL and the NBA, like they don't want no competition, and I don't understand it. Like y'all said, it could be a good farm system that could funnel elite level talent to your league, but sometimes these type of leagues they be acting funny because if you're the NBA and you don't want the big three, to me that's stupid. To me, I mean, these are retired NBA players. Like, what kind of threat does it pose to the NBA? And not only that, they're not even playing during at the same time frame as the NBA. Like it's
Right.
during the NBA off season. So what's the big deal? So you got to realize those type of leagues they funny when it comes to anybody that could be perceived as a threat or competition when there's really no threat or competition. You know what I'm saying? WWE the same way. So at the end of the day, I don't understand them. These ginormous corporations when it comes to sports.
Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed. JD6 said, boy, did the Broncos, aka Don Elway, swarm, miss and do a 720 when they drafted back Paxton in the first round? Yes, they did.
Ooh. And that's what I was telling everybody. Everybody keep talking about Kyler Murray and what's the other boy from North Carolina? Carolina. Bryce Young. Oh, the reason why they ain't gonna be successful because they young. I mean, they short, and they're not. They can't see the
Still,
the field because they're too short. And I'm like, well, we had some trash ass tall quarterbacks that could see everything and still couldn't get the ball to where they were supposed to get it to. Y'all remember Brock Oswald?
oh, he was 6'8".
I
Yep.
thought he was 6'9", 6'10".
He was 6'8", 6'9". He was close to it. His
Yeah.
wingspan was 6'10", 6'11". That was a good example. But yeah, I want the UFL to be its own league, but it shouldn't be a shame if the NFL wants to like farm talent, or the young brothers want to move up to the next level. But still, I want the UFL to still be its own identity. You feel me? Um, but I like your brother's take, man. Definitely like your brother's take. Uh, Mike Glennon is another one from North Carolina State. Mike Glennon was ass. Yeah.
They're tall and terrible.
Tall and terrible.
But piggyback on what we're saying about this is why I really feel like the NFL should have a farm system. Because let's not act like the NFL didn't steal stuff from the XFL or the UFL to incorporate to their league.
Yep.
Like the camera that we see now, where it shows behind and the sky cam, all that came from the XFL.
It's
That
a
came from
fail,
Vince
yeah.
McMahon. All that came from the XFL. Where they do the kickoff and everything now, they got that from the UFL. So it may not be, competition, but they are stealing their ideas and implementing it to the league for whatever reason. So the NFL definitely should partner up, which is what they're doing now to a degree, partner up with the UFL and make it an official farm league in the NFL. Because like I said, they're making enough money to where you can invest 60 to 80 million into the league to keep it going, to where you can have guys like a Mike Glennon or Paxton Lynch, or you can have your practice squad guy get some reps, to see if you want to keep investing in him, because if you're a practice squad guy, you only got 3 years to be on the practice squad. And after that, you have to be on an active roster, or you can't be on the practice squad no more. But, if it was like the NBA where every team had its farm league, imagine all the opportunities a lot more guys will have, and a lot more people you can get from the talent pool. So there is a lot of guys out there who are late bloomers. Everybody can't come in and be an Aaron Donald. Sometimes some guys may need to travel, be on 2 or 3 different teams for them to finally get it. You know what I mean? I think every team having its own, maybe not its own team, but maybe instead of having 30 something teams, maybe have maybe 15. That will go a long way in the development of players, and because we all know they really ain't coaching like that in the NFL. You supposed to show up and just do your thing. There's not really too much player development now, because we know a lot of coaches in the league who can't develop no talent. They get all the talent in the world, and they can't develop nobody. So I think it'd be a great idea. Now, will they do it? It's up to them. But again, they are already stealing ideas from the XFL and UFFL. Might as well just make it official.
You know what? That would be a great idea. And like you said, like instead of having 8 teams in the league, just if we add like a few more teams to the UFL, and then like you said, that the farming league would be a great idea, man. Just to develop talent, develop coaching as well. Especially for the new hot coaches or defensive coordinators, and offense, whatever the case may be. So I agree with you 100%, Big Joe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold
All
up,
right.
hold up. Ain't Mike Glennon, ain't that's the guy that they thought that basically North Carolina State pushed Russell Wilson out the door because they thought he was gonna be better than Russell Wilson? Is it the same guy?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
And I mean, just the thing, people thought he was gonna be a better college and NFL quarterback than Russell Wilson. Look how that turned out.
Not even close. I mean, over the years, there's people that's the quarterback position is you can't really determine it, man. It's a feeling. You gotta really watch tape. You can't say who can be good. There's a lot of people in the NFL that said that this person was gonna be good and they won't shit.
I mean, a lot of people felt that Will Levis was better than C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young.
Yeah, they said he was gonna be better than Malik Willis. They didn't think Malik Willis was gonna be shit, but Malik Willis got another contract with a big ass contract with Miami, and I hope he ball.
A lot of guys felt that Brock Osweiler was going to be the next guy too. So I mean, yes, well, a lot of A lot of folks thought that JJ McCarthy was the next guy. You know what I mean? So it's, but we also, a lot of that stuff is who they want to be in that spotlight too. So a lot of that has to
Yeah,
go with it too. So it's
yeah.
sometimes
That's why.
sometimes it don't come down to talent. It comes down to who they want to be in there and try to push somebody to be there. There's a lot of guys in the league who are not as talented as somebody who's an undrafted free agent, but because somebody made a pick and you don't want that pick to be wrong, they're gonna let the undrafted free agent go and they're gonna go to somebody else, and then the guy you drafted second, third round, he gonna collect all that money and be hot garbage and be out in 3 to 4 years. So it's
Yeah,
how it be sometimes.
cause I can't think of what show it was. No, I think that was Gil's Arena. He was saying they did this backup guy. He was cooking this guy that was drafted in the first round. That had like a $40 million contract, whatever the case may be. This guy was like either an undrafted free agent or like a second round pick. And Gil was like, in practice, he was cooking this boy every day. And one day the head coach was like, stop. Like, you're not going to outshine him. You're not going to get to start over him. You're not going to get to play over him. Just stop, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, bro. But Big Joe right, though, you know what I'm saying? And then the Mike Glennon thing, for you to essentially say, hey, Russell Wilson, you got 1 year eligibility left. We want you to spend that last year here in North Carolina State. We're going to push you out the door to invest in Mike Glennon. Come on, bro. That's crazy work right there,
Yeah, it is, man. We seen this all before, time and time again. Steph Boone said J.J. McCarthy is feeling some type of way Murray is in the quarterback room. Yeah, because I mean he just needed to play better. And I know he's young boy, but at the same time, Kyler Murray's a better quarterback. All 5'9" of them.
Man, he can't be mad and sit there and be mad and upset and he garbage now. I mean, he need to be more. I'm like how they do the black athletes. He need to be humble.
Well, only saving grace I got with J.J. McCarthy because they wanted him to be so good. Like Big Joe said, he need to be holding the clipboard. And then
That's why they got rid of Sam Darnold, the Joe point, and he won the Super Bowl next year. So, good point.
Yep. Man, let's go ahead and go into the boxing, man. We didn't have a show last week because the Memorial Day weekend, but let's go ahead and talk about it. Usyk versus Rico fight. So, those who don't know, don't watch boxing like that, but let me educate you. So Usyk set up a tune-up fight against one of the greatest kickboxers in the sport, Rico. And basically he looked horrible against Rico. Now he did eventually stop Rico, but that's the controversy. The referee, he did knock Rico down. Rico got up. And then he knocked Rico down again. And then the referee called the fight off when he got up again after the round was over. So who knows if Rico would have had the willpower to continue the damn fight. Who knows, because the damn referee. So a lot of people think that Usyk was saved. I think so in a way, because Usyk fell out garbage. He was hurt to the body by the kickboxer. look uncomfortable in there. So we're gonna get a lot of the brothers' opinion on the panel. Big Joe, I'm going to you first. What did you think about the Usyk versus Rico fight?
Initially, I didn't watch the fight. I was having some old hillside business. Then eventually, I was able to go back and watch it. This is just another situation as far as with Tyson Fury when he fought Francis Ngannou. They just did not prepare for the fight. Usyk thought his boxing superiority will reign supreme over a guy who is a kickboxer. You know, most guys who do mixed martial arts, whether it's kickboxing, Muay Thai, or whatnot, they have so many disciplines that they have to study to where sometimes their boxing ability may not be their best because they have to learn all these different types of disciplines. Meanwhile, a boxer, all you got to do is focus on is just boxing.
Right.
So Usyk was relying on the superiority to carry this fight, and this guy showed up ready to go. You know, it's just Usyk wasn't in the best shape. You can tell he didn't take it too seriously. And by the time he got into the fight, he was like, oh, damn. So you can't turn it on in the ring. You have to turn it on doing training. So Usyk had to rely on his some of his boxing instincts, you know, and he was able to gut it out in the 11th round. Now, a lot of folks had the kickboxer winning the fight.
I did,
but but boxing, what as Black Fight Fan always say, the business of boxing is staying in boxing. So Usyk was gonna win regardless, even if the kickboxer did his thing, and then the guy literally had to knock out Usyk on, to win. Everybody saw how the scorecards had it to where Usyk was going to win, even though he was getting dog walked the whole fight. The same way Francis Ngannou lost to Tyson Fury, even though Tyson Fury got dropped and got dog walked the whole fight. It's the same exact thing. You know, the higher ups cannot have a kickboxer come in and beat who's supposed to be the pound for pound best fighter in Oleksandr Usyk. They just can't have that. So shout out to the guy for showing up and preparing and taking it seriously. Shout out to him for seizing the moment, because you'll probably never get another opportunity like that. But he showcased what he showcased. And Oleksandr Usyk has always been weak to the body. He always has, lower abdomen issues. That's why a lot of folks felt that Daniel Dubois actually knocked him down and beat him in that fight when he acted like he didn't got his dingling knocked off, when that wasn't the case. So, so that guy just exposed what Usyk's deficiencies, already are. So shout out to that guy for showing up. And Usyk, I don't see him after this fighting too much stiff competition. I don't see him fighting the Deontay Wilder. I don't see him fighting a Ajay Cabriel or anybody like that. This might be
the young bull, Moses Atama.
Yeah, or Moses. I think this might be a sign for him to go and hang him up. Go and hang them gloves up, and if you want to, you can be a trainer full time. Maybe you can start training AJ, since AJ's down there in the Ukraine training. Maybe you can start being a coach now or something. But shout out to the kickboxer for showing up. And this just shows that with these exhibitions or these, or as they say, these expeditions, that if you're not careful, if you don't take your opponent seriously, boy, you can end up on ESPN. Well, no, ESPN ain't what it is no more. You can be on the ESPN top 10 list. So yeah, shout out to the guy for taking it seriously, and shout out to the business of boxing keeping Usyk in the top pound for pound list.
Hey, did you answer the second part question I was going to ask you, Big Joe? Basically, if Usyk, because he put a post on social media saying, come on, y'all, I was carrying the fight. That may be true, you were, but the Rico ain't get the memo, because he made you look bad.
Why are you carrying that guy 11 plus rounds?
Exactly.
Why would you want to carry somebody and not show your superiority? This ain't like a Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather fight. Everybody saw like, okay, yeah, Floyd carrying this guy. Nobody got that sentiment, with this guy. So
no.
Usyk was in for a fight, and he's kind of like, Come on, y'all. Come on, man, y'all. No. That guy showed up and you didn't. So it is what it is.
Facts. Yeah, I call bull as well. I think you that was your initial plan to carry the fight, but the kickboxer Rico punch power was more harder than you thought. His boxing skills better than you thought, and he's making you look bad.
It's the perfect example of your little brother. You playing your little brother one-on-one in basketball, and y'all playing up to 21, and he get 12, knowing dang well he got them 12 points. And then you're like, oh man, he getting better. He scored 12. You win, but you say, come on, you know I let you score 12. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Right.
You know. It's just,
I promise
that's
you
pretty much
point,
how.
man.
Yeah. That's pretty much how Usyk doing.
All right, and I see y'all in the comments, man. I'm gonna get to y'all after I get to the brothers. Brent Fox, what was your thoughts on the Rico versus Usyk, man? Usyk struggling in general, and does he need to hang it up, or he was just rusty?
Actually, I kind of agree with what Joe was saying. The moral, I think, of this fight is you just don't underestimate your opponent, regardless of what discipline they actually have. Yes, you have an advantage because you're a boxer and you are boxing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you kind of like halfway do your training or look over this for another fight. I think that the product that Usyk put out there with that Rico fight was just a result of what his mentality was, and it wasn't there. I think he was very distracted. He figured that this might be like some easy exhibition match that he should be able to just outclass the dude, and that'll be it. Wasn't quite the case. Once he realized that he had a fight on his hand, things changed. But like, if you halfway trained, you don't have anything to reach back for. You trained how you trained, and what you get out of that training is basically what you're gonna get in that fight. So yeah, I just think that you shouldn't underestimate your opponent, regardless of experience or background or anything else like that. You need to take it as this person that's in the ring with me in a sanctioned fight, could very well take me out, and I got to get him before he get me. I mean, that's the way you should look at it. But I just thought that he looked like, oh, this is just gonna be another day at the office, and I'll be all right. And it didn't, and it wasn't all right. That particular ref, didn't he? I think he did something else too. That was highly controversial. I just can't. I can't think of the damn fight that he did that with. But yeah,
I'm sure he did, Brett Fox. That's why he in there.
That fight. But yeah, that that stoppage was obviously too premature. Like, the dude had the ability to defend himself. He was catching shots, and if you go back and look, yes, there were some hard shots, yes, with an S, that were landing, but most of those shots were actually decently defended. Like, he didn't get the full brunt until like maybe late in that last combination that he threw. But yeah, he just stopped that too quick. Like, yeah, I get it. He was hurt, but I don't think that he was out of it. So yeah. And I think they're setting up Usyk for David Benavidez anyway. So shout out to Coach Hudson. I think that he's setting. I think that
Coach.
Yeah, I think that they may be setting up Usyk for David Benavidez. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to see Wilder actually fight Usyk and use that God-given right hand to actually put him down and then become a lineal champion, one face, one name. That would have been wonderful, but I think that they're setting him up for David Benavidez. So there's that.
Okay. I bet not see no Usyk for no damn David Benavidez. I'll be hot.
I think it's gonna happen, man. I think it's gonna happen. I don't want to be no negative Nancy or nothing like that, but I think that's what's gonna happen. I mean, yeah, it looks like that may actually happen. So
Yeah, because if Canelo don't fight Benavidez, what else he supposed to do?
he's not finna fight
And
Benavidez. Come on, man. Man, Canelo ain't finna fight David Benavidez.
exactly. So
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with him and Bivol and Betterby. So who knows? All right, man. People scared of Benavidez, man, and because he that dude, man, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He definitely got the right name, Mexican monster. Cause he's been fighting like one. Coach, what was your opinion on Rico and the Usyk fight?
Shout out to Big Joe. He got me back for a couple weeks back when he said pretty much I stole all his thunder. He got me back and forth because pretty much everything I was gonna say, he said it. But
right.
But anyway, I mean to keep it
rightfully so, Coach. I said top 5. You said 30, you gave it what 30, 35?
Yeah, I kind of did
players.
Come up with an extensive list, but he definitely got me back today. And kind of like him, I didn't initially watch the fight, until all the brothers in the group chat was like, man, with the woo. And then after that, I saw 7-8. So I kind of went back and watched it. Man, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Rico put belt to ass. Like Big Joe said, I don't think Usyk trained the way he was supposed to. He underestimated him the same way Tyson Fury did Francis Ngannou. In the same way, a lot of fighters, when you fight against an inferior opponent, you figure you can just show up and win. Whether we talking about, Usyk and Ngannou or Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas, whoever, you just figure you just could show up, turn it on, and win, and it doesn't work that way. And he really didn't try to turn up until he was knee deep into the fight, and Rico was putting belt to ass. I mean, in all actuality, everybody know the same way we know Francis Ngannou legitimately beat Tyson Fury, in the same way Michael Hunter legitimately beat Oleksandr Usyk, and Daniel Dubois legitimately beat Oleksandr Usyk. Rico beat Usyk. I don't care what nobody say. And the second he got hurt, they jumped in and stopped the fight. So, like 7-8 was saying, too many people was telling him that, oh yeah, they're gonna rob Usyk, they're gonna rob Usyk. They're gonna rob Rico. They're not gonna let Usyk lose. They're not gonna make boxing look bad. And it happened. I mean, for all intents and purposes, like Big Joe was saying, he got exposed again. He's never gonna fight Deontay Wilder. And truthfully speaking, really, I think any good, decent heavyweight that really say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the body heavy on Usyk. And Usyk in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Because realistically, I think Chisora, prior to Dubois, I think Chisora really kind of gave you the best blueprint to actually go in there and do damage to Usyk. You know what I'm saying? Fury and AJ, they had stupid game plans. You're not gonna outbox this guy. You got to get in there. You got to be rough and tumble. You got to be rough and rugged. You got to rough him up, and you got to go to the body heavy body.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they made it seem like this dude the best thing since sliced bread. But of course, they say the same thing with Fury. You got stupid people like Shakur Stevenson that was saying that Tyson Fury is better than Muhammad Ali. I'm like, dude, shut the F up. Usyk got there exposed.
Please shut up.
Usyk got there exposed Fury. Chisora, Hunter, Dubois, Rico, then it all exposed Usyk to me. And Usyk not slick, just like salute, just to all the LDBC family members, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't ever see Usyk fighting Wilder. He don't want that kind of smoke, because to keep it a buck, the minute Wilder touches him with a clean right hand, Usyk goes to sleep and it's night-night. He don't want that kind of smoke. You know what I'm saying? So, I love to see Usyk getting that with Wilder, but it's not going to happen. I think Brent Fox was spot on and accurate from the standpoint. I legitimately think they really going to put him with David Benavidez. And, I prefer to see Wilder and Usyk, but I think, Brent Fox right from the standpoint of, and let's keep it real. We know Canelo never wanted to smoke with Benavidez. And it's to the point now, it's no telling that if we're going to ever get Benavidez versus the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. So maybe it might be in a Mexican monster, David Benavidez's best interest to actually legitimately move up to heavyweight and try to fight Usyk. I wouldn't advise it, but at this point, Usyk definitely have been exposed. He's definitely beatable. But, you're still coming up from what? Really super middleweight all the way up to heavyweight? It still might be a difficult task to pull off. But at the end of the day, I don't think Usyk at this point looking to fight the best possible competition,
Yeah, Coach, I think to your point, he's probably looking to cash out. And David just fought at cruiserweight, and David also walks around pretty big, like 220, 230 anyway. So, yeah, heavyweight wouldn't be that big of a stretch.
Yeah, all right. I think that's too much power for David, though.
They're about the same size. Him and Usyk are about the same size.
It don't matter. It don't matter. They may have the same, but they have been exchanging the same punches. Like he went up from, he could do a James Toney. James Toney was a blown up heavyweight, and he was able to make noise in the heavyweight division. But still, I don't know.
I think.
It's the same game plan if you look at it, because James Toney, before he went to heavyweight, he went light heavy. He went super middleweight. He went light heavyweight. He went cruiserweight because he had fights with Vasily Girov, and then he moved up to heavyweight because he ain't want to do no road work, and he wound up beating John Ruiz.
John Ruiz, yeah.
But he popped dirty and messed it all up. So,
but you make an excellent point, Brent Fox. And then the thing we got to look at it, the reason why Ruiz got beat by Roy Jones Jr. and by James Toney is the fact that he's not a legitimate heavyweight. He, for all intents and purposes, like y'all saying, he was a blown up heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? And I think that might be the only thing that really might help Benavidez from the standpoint of, don't get me wrong, Usyk, he did well against Joshua and Fury, who came in with stupid game plans. But if he fighting, somebody that's really gonna come with a real heavyweight game plan and not try to outbox Usyk, but beat Usyk up and try to go to the body heavy, Usyk, he'd have been exposed multiple times over. So the thing about it is on the opposite end of the spectrum. If Usyk fights Benavidez, is Usyk gonna try to be cute and outbox Benavidez? And is Benavidez is gonna keep doing what he's doing in terms of just keep coming forward and going at Usyk, or he gonna try a different strategy for a bigger guy? So I think all of these things kind of factor into it, But the fact that he's not legitimately, they probably might be the same walk around weight. I think that might be the Benavidez is, to his benefit, But at the same token, Jerry does bring up a good point from the standpoint of, hey, he not taking the same kind of punishment at super middleweight, light heavyweight, and at cruiserweight that he would if he got in there with actual heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? And just let's say he did beat Usyk, then what's next? We know good damn well he ain't gonna fight no Wilder. Are you gonna fight Fury, Joshua? Who you gonna fight, Benavidez, if you do beat Usyk?
I'm telling you, that's my point. Like, yeah, we know how we feel about Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua got heavyweight power.
Yeah,
and Usyk been he started his bones, made his bones at cruiserweight, and all cruiserweights is one or two sandwiches away from heavyweight.
Yeah.
So one of Reese's Pieces away from heavyweight. So them boys can punch. Now Benavidez did beat a very full week. Everybody talk shit about Zerto, but Zerto is a solid cruiserweight. He's a solid cruiserweight.
He was a champion when he beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I think Hunter beat Usyk, if you ask me, though,
I wouldn't say all that, but Michael Hunter gave Usyk its toughest matchup.
Fight at cruiserweight. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he beat him, man. I love Michael Hunter. But Michael
Hunter. The bounty hunt. Shout out to Michael Hunter.
Times in that fight, for me to say that.
Yes, he did. But I think you missing one thing, Jared, about the one key, and I don't give a damn. Y'all know me. We've been done shows long enough to know me. We missing one thing about Benavidez. He got that cocaine chin just like Fury, so he should go up there and take punches.
I know it. I should have known. Hey.
So hell, if his cocaine chin to take them heavyweight punches, that's why he probably can walk forward like that and take them punches. Cause his brain is numb. But in seriousness,
hey, that's the case if you hanging out with Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, bro.
Damn.
I'm just saying, bro. I watch. Hey, man, us brothers in the LDBC, or associated LDBC, man. We watch everything. You know what I'm saying? We don't say nothing. We not haters, but we watch everything. I'm just gonna leave it like that. But he can go up to heavyweight and fight. That's actually a good matchup, him and Usyk. Actually, and that's a winnable fight for him. Because shout out to the great Bill Haney. Bill Haney was the one that told Terrence to go up there and get Canelo, because he understand that Crawford is a big dude. If you don't understand that, people looking at him because of where he fight at, but when you put weight on him, he's actually a big dude. Same thing with Benavidez. Benavidez is a big dude. He's really the reason why he's whooping up at everybody's ass. Because actually, his body build, he can fight at heavyweight if he wanted to. Just like Crawford. Crawford can fight at 160, 170 if he wanted to. But he chose to fight at because he can get off the weight. You know what I'm saying? Now, David Benavidez, he's been having weight issues in the past before. And I think he got his belts taken away from him on the scale, I believe, at one time. So now that's the reason, one of the reasons why he moved up to 175. So that's not a far-fetched scenario, him going up to heavyweight. I think that's a bad matchup for Usyk. If I was Usyk, people, I wouldn't take that fight. So I think Benavidez beats the shit out of him. Because you better believe David gonna go to that fight.
Great, y'all. Look, okay.
I'm with you, JB. I'm with you. I'm with you.
No,
I'm with you,
okay,
JB.
knock it off. Your mama,
I'm with you,
your mama
JB.
a man. Look, no, let's stop. Look. Benavidez is showed that like he's a big guy for his weight class, starting at the 150 to 160, going into 170s. Now he's cruiserweight. Okay, like JB said, his build, he can put on more weight and muscle, and he can fit into that weight class. Now, because he don't want to get off that weight, he's going in the cruiserweight. But I don't believe his push resistance will last.
So you saying he don't? You saying he can't take heavyweight punches? Basically.
No, not for long. No, he meet a Big Bang Zang or somebody like that. He'll get knocked the hell out, man. Come on, let's stop.
Well, now this is where I do agree with Jared. I think he can win that fight against Usyk. I think stylistically that's a bad fight for Usyk. Now, if Benavidez chooses to stay at heavyweight, he will get his ass knocked out. Because his style coming forward, taking hits, I got a strong chin, I'm still coming forward. That damn Jared Hurd style. You saw that what happened to him. His punch resistance was gone after that Lara fight.
We can stay at heavyweight for that example, JB, Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
His defense was catching shit with his chin and coming forward and beating it because he beat the dog shit out of Daniel
Dubois. Yep, I already knew you was going with that one.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Like, but I still think that he wins that fight. But if he stays at heavyweight, he gonna get flatlined. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I'm hearing what everybody's saying. Where did Benavidez fight his last fight? Cruiserweight, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So and what's the cruiserweight weight differential for people who don't know between cruiserweight and heavyweight?
I think it's now stretched to like and y'all just fact check me on this if I'm wrong. I think it's like 205 or something like that. I know that they stretched it to like 200 or something like that. It's 200 or 205. There's a weight limit for them.
It's from like 190 to 205, something like that. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay. So I'll just say this. Like what JB was saying, this could be his Crawford moment. Crawford went up to and fought Canelo at 168 because it was a perfect matchup for him and it was a legacy fight. And it was a big money fight too. One thing with Dave Benavidez is he hasn't had the legacy moment yet. He's been chasing Canelo for the longest. He can't get the Canelo fight. Something that will lament his legacy is defeating a two-time undisputed champion in Oleksandr Usyk. Does that mean he has to stay at heavyweight? Definitely not. But for that opportunity and for that cachet and for that scalp that be on his mantle, I think that'll be a good fight for him to take. Now, will he do good against a Big Bang Zang or will he do good against an Ajit Cabrera? I don't know. But I do know that Dave Benavidez has tremendous hand speed, has tremendous combinations. A lot of heavyweights are not that fast. Yes, they are strong. Yes, if they hit you, it will hurt, but a lot of them are not fast at all. So he has that to his advantage to where, same thing with Usyk. Usyk is not that strong. He puts together combinations. He has good strength. He has heavyweight strength, but he doesn't have knockout power like that. But he can put together fast combinations to where he can get you up out of there. So to a degree, Benavidez kind of fights like a Usyk. Now, if he were to stay at heavyweight, to make it a landscape thing, we don't have any heavyweight champions coming up now. Jared Anderson was the last one, and he got sparked. We had my man who just fought with the porn mustache. He just got sparked. So we don't have anybody in there. I'm just saying.
Torres
with Deron Jeremy. So having Dave Benavidez up there, because he is born in America. You know,
Oh,
even though he's half Mexican, half Ecuadorian. You know, but for the Usyk fight, I can see him doing it, and I think he should do it. You know, I think Turkey will throw some money out there because just for his legacy, Benavidez needs that. Usyk's legacy is already lamented. He's two-time undisputed champion. His legacy is stamped. Dale Benavidez is not going to get the Canelo fight. With that being said, who is he going to fight at 75? Who is he going to fight at cruiserweight? Who is he going to fight that's going to lament him to being the Mexican monster without him going up and fighting a guy like Oleksandr Usyk? So I get what everybody's saying, but for Dale Benavidez, he needs that fight for his legacy. He actually has to happen. He's not getting a Canelo fight. But if you move up and have your Crawford moment and beat Usyk in front of the world, you will lament yourself as more than being the Mexican monster. You will literally be the king of Mexico.
Now, since you put it that way, if this is all about legacy, like you said, Terrence Crawford did, Roy Jones Jr. did, that's all right there. I'm just saying, as far as just watching David Benavidez from where he was from, if he do that fight, if he accept that fight, don't be surprised if he get caught with something. That's all I'm saying.
But I mean, okay, with that being said, a lot of heavyweights shouldn't be heavyweights either. Who's Jermaine Franklin beating? That's going to be whoever. A lot of these heavyweights. A lot of these heavyweights.
Not Jermaine Franklin.
No, for real. Okay. Every division has A, B, C, and D level fighters. Dale Benavidez moved to heavyweight. The only difference between him and everybody else is he doesn't have one punch knockout power. A lot of heavyweights don't have that either. A lot of heavyweights have hard thudding power. They hit you and your whole body shake. Not too many guys is like Wilder, will hit you and cut your lights off. Yeah. So Benavidez, don't forget, he was a 300-pound chubby kid, so he can carry the weight and still have the hand speed. That hand speed, nobody can match him at heavyweight. Him getting caught, it depends on him getting caught. But then again, Usyk has gotten caught. We know he's weak at the body, and he's a two-time undisputed heavyweight champion. We don't know until they get into the ring.
That's true.
If Benavidez go up there and get knocked the spark out by some heavyweight, then you know, okay, I better come back down. But what if he go up there and reign supreme at heavyweight? He has the hand speed. He has the weight. He is not now.
Everybody was telling Terrence Crawford, no, that's too much weight. But he went up there and did it. So would it have been okay?
We don't know who Benavidez sparred all the time. Him and Zerto been sparring partners forever, and Zerto's a cruiserweight. So we don't know who all Benavidez be sparring.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
I mean? But I get it. I get it for sure. But the only difference between Benavidez and every other heavyweight is just he has something that the heavyweights don't have, and that's phenomenal hand speed. And he is always in shape and has a motor. Always. Now, well, if that's natural or not is yet to be seen. But as of now, he has done. As of now, he has done it, and we all seen what he did to my man who wore the slave blouse, and my man
you talking about Andre?
Boo Boo Andrade.
Yeah, Boo Boo Andrade. He dog walked Boo Boo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Boo Boo did that to himself, though.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying, but he did it though.
Yeah. Got the Keith Thurman treatment, waiting so damn long.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with Big Joe. I agree with Brent Fox. I agree with JB. I think Benavidez can move up to heavyweight and have that legacy moment and beat Usyk. But I think JB right. If I'm Usyk, I'm not taking that fight. You don't have nothing to gain by fighting Benavidez. If he ain't gonna fight Wilder, why would he fight
$200 million?
Yeah, I was finna say you won't pay it there. You won't pay it there. I know that.
I mean, if that's the case, then guess what? Give up his chin and let Wilder knock him out. If that's what we're doing.
He ain't gonna get.
He gonna do that for damn near for free.
He He ain't get
David
200 million to fight
Benavidez,
Wilder.
unfortunately, is gonna bring him more money.
I mean, I agree with you, but I don't see it though because in my eyes, Wilder's a way bigger star than Benavidez. To be honest with you,
He definitely is. He definitely. Well, okay. I'll say
Okay,
this: the how the same way Canelo and Crawford is built up, the same way Usyk and Benavidez will be built up, the same way. Whether if he's a bigger star or not, you gonna have a smaller guy moving up to fight a heavyweight, and we all know the heavyweight division runs boxing, and there's always gonna be eyes on there. So
Right.
that's gonna be a big spectacle, regardless, because you have the Mexican Monster moving up to fight the two-time undisputed heavyweight champion in a one night fight. However they want to do it. One for the ages, guts to glory, whatever. You know. But if you have Wilder and Usyk, it's just gonna be, it's gonna be Usyk. The storyline is gonna be Usyk trying to knock out everybody in his generation. That's the only storyline it's gonna be.
I mean, from a legacy standpoint, I think it's if Usyk took the fight, it would mean more to Benavidez. But in terms of securing your legacy, in terms of you being like the elite guy of the entire generation, you can actually say, guess what? Hey, I beat Joshua twice. I beat Fury twice. To me, he cements himself. If you beat Wilder, and of course Wilder beat King Kong. To me, from a legacy standpoint, I think that win would mean more to Usyk's legacy than fighting a guy moving up from super middleweight. I mean, I understand what you're saying. They're gonna build it up the same way they built up Canelo and Crawford, but at the same token, I think from a legacy standpoint, you could say, hey, I was the guy of this generation in terms of the heavyweight division. I beat Wilder, I beat Fury twice, I beat Joshua twice, I beat Dubois twice, even though I really think that first fight, Dubois really legitimately beat him. But, you getting at home cooking is another story. But at the end of the day, if he as good as he say he is, and he said, hey, Wilder easy work, show me Wilder easy work then. But we already know there's a racial component to that. Usyk know if he gonna fight against Wilder, he gonna give up his chin and he gonna give up that strap to you, dude.
Nah, I hear you. But in the Usyk's eyes, in Usyk's world, his legacy's already submitted. He's two-time heavyweight undisputed. He's undisputed at cruiserweight. Whether he beat Wilder or not, he's still already he's already the pound for pound best fighter in the world if you're going by the unconventional list, how they're doing it now. Mm-hmm. So him actually beating Benavidez will be bigger than him beating Wilder.
I mean, you make an excellent point, and I understand what you're saying, but he's dismissive of Wilder from the standpoint of saying, guess what? I done beat Fury. Fury beat him twice. I beat Joshua twice. But he could say, hey, I would have, Wilder faded. I would beat him. But you didn't beat him in a ring, though. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what you're saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's where that double standard come into play. Because guess what?
For sure.
Just think about it. People actually wanted Floyd Mayweather Jr. to fight Triple G. They actually wanted this boy who came all the way up from 130 to fight Triple G. But yet on the other side, you give Usyk the benefit of the doubt. Oh, Wilder faded. He ain't got to fight Wilder. We know if the tables would be reversed, guess what? Wilder would have to prove that he beat every other top guy in his generation, and he would have to fight Usyk. So, I mean, it's crazy to me how Usyk get a pass and not fight Wilder, and he could just pivot and go to Benavidez. Me personally, like I say, I want the Wilder fight, but I know it ain't gonna never happen.
Oh, for sure. I'm right there with you. It's bomb squad to the casket drop for sure.
Yes,
so
just a go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, but it's just I beat everybody in my generation compared to I literally am two-time undisputed. I'm cruiserweight this and this, and I also beat the Mexican Monster. That's gonna hold way more weight than him beating Wilder. Unfortunately, unfortunately, right now with our brother, having multiple losses on his record, the biggest fight for Usyk right now will be Benavidez. It just
Right.
is.
And that's not good for business because you gotta look at it like this. What I learned by watching that last the Shore fight, Water gonna be a threat until he hangs it up.
For
Cause
sure.
I seen AJ punk ass on the sideline rooting for Chisora. Now of course that's his countryman, but that folks was making sure that Water was actually dead. I mean,
The
not
Legend of
dead, but
Water dead. Yeah, I understand
the
what you're
Legend
saying.
of Water is dead. So they scared they're gonna be scared of Water until he hangs it up. And like Joe said, they're not gonna put Usyk in there. What I realized, they're not gonna put Usyk in there with Wilder and risk Wilder landing, turning back the clock and landing at his famous right hand and messing up his money for other fights. So unfortunately, it's not Wilder's not good for business because he has those losses on his resume, and the narrative is that Wilder is done. So Wilder messes around and knocks out of Anthony Joshua, knocks out of Usyk, then that's not going to be good for business for the fights they're going to try to make in the future.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to not to belabor the point here, but I think that even if Usyk loses to David Benavidez, he can go back and fight Wilder. But if it's the other way around and he fights Wilder and loses and gets knocked out, there is no David Benavidez fight.
Facts.
And unfortunately, right now, and I'm just speaking in business terms, right now, the more lucrative fight is going to be Usyk versus Benavidez because of the spectacle, like Joe and everybody else was mentioning. The spectacle itself is going to sell the fight. But yeah, if you have Wilder go in there and play Wreck-It Ralph with Oleksandr Usyk, all of that is going down the drain. But he can, even if he loses to Benavidez, there is probably a strong chance that he'll get in there with Wilder because what has he got to lose besides his consciousness at that point? So yeah, he could go back and fight Wilder after he loses to Benavidez.
But
And,
hold on, Big Joe. Hold on, Big Joe. Let me hand it home what Big Joe trying to say. So Usyk went the Evander Holyfield route, meaning that Evander Holyfield, like Usyk, was a highly heralded cruiserweight and was the best cruiserweight, and went to heavyweight and took the gold. So he's already with those things, those badges under him. He doesn't have to fight Wilder. He doesn't have to. I hate to say it. That's the point Big Joe is trying to drive. And even though I don't like that fight for Benavidez, it'll be stupid for him not to go up. I just don't think he's gonna win, but that's me. I'm the only one that think that. But go ahead, Big Joe, because I interrupted you.
No, you're good, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, this is bomb squad to the casket drop. I was literally at the Wilder Fury 2 fight. So I seen our brother get cheated in person. So, I mean, I'm bomb squad for real. But I just know how the business of boxing is. So now, I would love for Wilder to fight Usyk now. Because Usyk owns what, 3 of the 4 belts? Something like that? Or he's only have 2?
I think he got 2 now.
I think he down.
Got 2? Okay. So, it was a good fight because, he can fight Usyk and be undisputed or have 3 belts or whatnot, So the more they extrapolate the belts from Usyk, the more it's like, why would I fight Wilder? When you got somebody like a Turkey Al-Sheikh or you have the business of boxing, they're going to say, hey, don't worry about the guy over there. Wilder's finished. He's an old lion. Don't worry about him. Now David Benavidez Usyk. Now, hey, if you destroy the Mexican monster, you will be the king of Ukraine. You will be more powerful than the minister of Ukraine. That's your fight, Usyk. I know you have one more left in you, buddy. I know you can do it. So I think you and Benavidez should fight for all the marbles. We will give you, actually, Usyk, we'll give you back 2 of the belts. You'll be completely undisputed. And you can fight. You know what? And the WBC is going to make a belt for this fight, too. And probably a ring and a bracelet. Don't worry about it, Usyk. Don't worry about it, Usyk. This will be the best thing for you. Look here, buddy. Have I ever stirred you wrong, buddy? Don't worry about that guy over there. Look, he's a darkie anyway. Don't worry about him. That's the business of boxing. That's the business of boxing. You know what I mean? So they're not. You know, it's unfortunate, but for Dale Benavidez's legacy, not only is the Usyk fight should happen, that's what he needs. Because if not, he does not have one legacy fight on his resume right now. Not one. Right now, his big legacy fight is defeating Zerto, defeating a David Morrell who is not ready, and also defeating an aging, older Demetrius Andrade. So he needs that Usyk fight for his legacy.
And for those who thinking that I'm hating on Benavidez, I'm gonna tell you this: if he stays around, if Bivol or Beterbiev goes to the cruiserweight, which I think Beterbiev, because Beterbiev he's been towing the line for the weight. He walks around at 200 something. Benavidez still beats Beterbiev. I understand.
You think Bivol beats Beterbiev?
No. Benavidez beats both of them. I don't care who comes up. Bivol, Beterbiev, Benavidez beat all.
So you saying Benavidez would beat Beterbiev or Bivol?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because his style.
Yeah,
his style.
I agree with you, but I think in terms of matching up with Benavidez, I think Beterbiev will. I think it'll be a bad matchup for Beterbiev to fight Benavidez. I think Bivol would have a better chance of outboxing him. I think Beterbiev, he's not exactly like Benavidez, but he more similar. He's less of a boxer than Bivol is, so I think it'll be a bad matchup for Beterbiev. Benavidez would just tear through him, in my personal opinion. But and the crazy thing about it is everything y'all said about the Usyk Benavidez Wilder situation, y'all right, but it shouldn't be that way because no disrespect to Benavidez, but what has he really accomplished? Whereas from a Wilder standpoint, Wilder got 10 defenses of his title, at the heavyweight division, and in all actuality, had the PBC played the situation right instead of just giving Prince Charles Martin to AJ. Because, just think about it. They made Don King look like he was such a criminal. And everything Don King did, Bob Arum did that and then some. But guess what? Don King would have had enough understanding to say, you know what? No, hell no. I'm not going to help my opposition now. Charles Martin, you're going to fight against Wilder. Had Wilder got Martin, we know he would have knocked Martin out. Ain't no two ways about it. That would have never gave rise to Anthony Joshua. Him getting that belt, and guess what? Klitschko didn't want no smoke with Wilder either because he was one of Wilder's sparring partners. Wilder was his sparring partner and used to kick his behind. And then, of course, Shelly Finkel, it was a conflict of interest for him because he was managing both Klitschko and Wilder. Man, hey, bro, if, I hate to, talk bad over brothers, but I'm going to keep it a buck. Man, had PBC, when they still was a black-run company, you know what I'm saying? Had Al Hammond and them did business the right way and let Charles Martin fight Wilder, or B, hey, let Ruiz say, you know what, guess what? I ain't even fighting the Anthony Joshua rematch. I'm a fake hurt or something. And then we going to fight Wilder for undisputed. Man, hey, guess what? Wilder would have already got his flowers, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we know they cheated him twice, really 3 times if you ask me. All 3 times against Fury, and now they playing keep away. Man, at the end of the day, the business of boxing is trash as far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm saying?
All right, understood.
Ain't nobody argue with that?
No.
Now, the only thing that I will say is that we Okay, I'm only speaking for me. I'm not speaking for nobody else but me. I'm trying to look at this very objectively. Now, I can't like really just diminish the accomplishments of David Benavidez, and I'm not caping for him. I'm just looking at this from an objective perspective. Um, you, he's actually won titles wherever he was at. Um, so I mean that's not something that we would diminish, but at
No,
the
not at
same
all.
time, um, if he's able to pull this off against Usyk, then he automatically goes into legendary status. Whereas if yes, in principle, I'll give you this, coach. In principle, Usyk should fight Wilder. Okay, he should be able to like clear the table and be like, "Hey, I was the best in my generation because I beat the best in my generation." That is a high principle thing to do, and I think if it were lucrative enough, I think that Usyk would do it. But again, just beating a dead horse, I guess. This spectacle of a fight with David Benavidez versus Usyk is too lucrative to pass up. And another thing is that Jay Opatai is actually the lineal champion at cruiserweight, and that fight could be available too. But I still say that he should fight. David Benavidez should still fight Usyk, and I do think that Turkey will probably make that happen.
For sure.
Honestly, bro, I'm in agreement with everything you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you, but truthfully speaking, I think being the WBC heavyweight champion, it kind of outweighs being a WBC middleweight champion. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I would, even though I don't like the fact that he hanging with Ryan, but they're the same race, so I can't be mad with him, from that standpoint. But truthfully speaking, I mean, Benavidez has been frozen out of a legacy fight with Canelo, and then the whole Better BF Bivol situation. So I wouldn't be mad if he got the Usyk fight. But just in my personal opinion, like you said, on principle, Wilder should get next as opposed to Benavidez. And y'all right from the standpoint of, if he lose to Benavidez, he could pivot and go back to Wilder, whereas it wouldn't necessarily be the opposite way around. But I think the business of boxing, they're going to keep away from Wilder for the rest of his career anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's too much of a threat. He's too much of a threat.
Yeah, and that's why I think my point of, Al Hammond and PBC letting Anthony Joshua get his hands on that belt that Charles Martin had, I think that was the worst thing for Wilder, in my perspective. It's like, bro,
No. The worst thing for Wilder is when he gave that fat cocaine piece of crap a rematch.
Well, I mean, let's keep it a buck. He beat him in the original fight anyway.
Yeah, that's why I said the rematch.
No. I honestly don't think that was the worst thing.
At that time, I could fully understand why he wanted to run that back. At that time, yes. He felt like, Deontay felt like, hey, I legitimately knocked this guy out. I legitimately am going to.
What this piece of crap?
I'm legitimately going to knock him out. But he didn't know that was going. Come on now, y'all don't.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't know that was going to happen, y'all. That man didn't know that was going to happen to him.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, Jerry. You're looking at it from a perspective of hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, he didn't know that. Yeah, that man didn't know that was going to happen to him.
So,
I'm looking at it after the fact. Okay,
that's my point. That's my point. So when I say the first thing is the fact that if you Al Hammond and you let Prince Charles Martin pick a bag and get knocked out by Joshua. Once Joshua got his hands on that belt, you know what I'm saying, he played keep away from Wilder, you know what I'm saying? And then once Ruiz beat Joshua, like, y'all trying to do the upstanding thing, you trying to play fair, even though Top Room not playing fair, Top Rank not playing fair, Match Room not playing fair, Golden Boy, none of these other promotional companies, but you want to be the good old Negroes and play fair and this, that, and the third. Man, what they should have did was play keep away like they've been doing. Hey, Ruiz fake injured, this, that, and the third. And then guess what? You get undisputed between Wilder and Ruiz, and guess what? Boom. So and that way you could make up for what you did with the Charles Martin situation. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, bro. Like, I mean, I really felt like PBC and Shelley Finkel to a certain degree. I think they did Wilder a disservice. So at the end of the day, I mean, and I'm not knocking Benavidez, but I think the fact that Wilder was WBC heavyweight champion means more than Benavidez being WBC champion at super middleweight division.
I hear you.
Understood.
But to Big Joe's point, I mean, even though I don't think Benavidez wins that fight, but I could be very wrong. Because Benavidez got the skills. I mean, that'll be the smart as far as the big, career fight that you, Big Joe, and Coach was talking about. That'll be the smartest move. But
Jared.
What?
Jared. Okay. So since you think Usyk is actually gonna beat Benavidez, do you think he beats Benavidez by unanimous decision, or does he stop Benavidez?
I can see him stopping Benavidez probably in the 7th round. Anytime in the 7th round.
Okay, we revisiting this once the fight's made.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna be here. Definitely be here. And then I'm gonna do like I did, because I picked Benavidez to beat Zerto, but I thought Zerto was gonna be more competitive. But Benavidez proved me wrong to the fact as far as it wasn't even a competition. He dominated Zerto. So
yeah, and y'all already know we don't duck no smoke over here because we all admitted we was wrong when Crawford beat the brakes off of EJ. So we don't duck no smoke, you dig?
Absolutely not.
And as far as football, we all didn't duck no smoke when we was wrong about Bo Nix. We thought Bo Nix was gonna be garbage out of Oregon. So
I also say this too. Not campaign, but to see why Usyk and Benavidez should fight. The reason why, let's not forget, the reason why Wilder even fought Fury was because he couldn't get no wreck from nobody else. He couldn't get no wreck from AJ. AJ ducked him and still ducking him now. He could not get the Padvekin fight. The only other fight on the table was for him to fight a Dilly. Other than that,
you cut out, Big Joe.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, was that me?
there was nobody for Wilder to fight. There was no challenge because AJ had the other 3 belts. That's why he resurrected Fury, because he needed a challenge. He needed somebody to fight. Any warrior worth his merit is going to want to be challenged. So, not saying
we all respect that and love that, but
yeah,
on the other side, it wasn't
right.
It didn't. The same respect wasn't shown.
But if the good was the good, like Coach was saying, for the good of boxing, if the 10 count was the 10 count, Wilder would have beat Fury the first time. Everything would be everything, you know. But that's just not how boxing is. But so for Benavidez, he's what, a 2 or 3 division champion, something like that.
Yeah.
So there is no challenge for Benavidez. There is nobody else. Name one person who can challenge Benavidez. We know everybody wants him to fight Canelo. Everybody know he's gonna spark Canelo.
Yeah, he gonna beat Canelo up bad.
That Jay Opatar fight is a dangerous fight.
Yeah, it's dangerous, but Benavidez, nobody can match his hand speed.
He's still gonna win.
Yeah. So the only tough fight for Benavidez would be Oleksandr Usyk.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Big Joe. You know, Benavidez, he done missed weight once, and that's kind of in the rearview mirror for him in terms of his past. But people might be saying I'm tripping, but I'm not gonna lie. I still would like to see him, fight the winner of the rubber match between Better Be Bivol. I mean, that's my personal opinion,
Okay, yeah, I was gonna go there too. Because either of those fights, and yes, it's likely that Benavidez would beat either one of those two, but they're still potentially dangerous fights.
Beterbiev is an older fighter who's going to stand there and get dog walked by Benavidez.
That's what I'm saying.
The last thing to go is your power. The last thing to go is your power.
The only one is Bivol, who actually has the foot speed and some hand speed to fight Benavidez. That'll be a tough fight, but he'll beat Beterbiev. But for right now, Usyk has 1 or 2 fights left, and that's it. He ain't sticking around much longer.
No.
So if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to lament your legacy as the Mexican monster that Mike Tyson didn't name you, your other fellow cokehead homie, that's the fight that Benavidez needs.
Not the other cokehead homie.
Not the other cokehead homie.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey.
You wrong for that.
Yeah,
you wrong for that. I don't do coke no more.
Be keeping it real, for real.
We gonna do a dedication out here, bro.
Yes, sir. But I'm sorry, y'all. We was having a good conversation. Let me get to these comments real fast before we move on to the last topic, which is the Austin Ford fight. And then what happened after that fight. So Adrian Crook said Usyk was saved. Yes, he was. He looked faster than Usyk. Yeah. Usyk lost that fight. If it would have been to the judges, Rev got that signal from someone. It did. It sure looked like it. He was like, "Hey, man, a boy looking bad. Hey, go ahead and call that fight off."
Yeah, somebody told they call him.
Adrian Cook said facts, and then Jada6 said, "Not once did Usyk made Rico back up. Think twice. Hell, not even flinched. That was the most I've seen a novice boxer come forward with no fear." Because a lot of people, Rico wasn't like Francis. Francis dabbled in boxing, but Rico actually boxed. He was actually going to go into boxing, but he decided to go just in kickboxing. So he, as you can saw, I'm not saying he was he'll dominate the heavyweight division or something like that as far as boxing skills, but you saw he knew a little bit of something about boxing in there because he was making Usyk uncomfortable. J86 said, "I look forward to see future Rico boxing matches just to see what he can do." Okay,
man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ain't nobody, because people were saying, "Oh, Wilder should fight Rico." Man, Wilder would spark that boy and get no credit for it. So it doesn't even benefit Wilder to fight Rico. And to be honest with you, I don't think no elite level guys really gonna fight him. Because it's different fighting Francis, whereas you fight Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou got a name, you get a bag. AJ and Ngannou got a bag for that fight. You fight Rico don't have that kind of big name in terms of MMA or kickboxing in terms of crossover.
Yeah, Rico need to fight like a Prince Martin or David Allen or something like that.
Man, that would be a bad fight. I mean, I know Charles Martin, he's not what he once was, but Charles Martin stopping Rico.
Yeah, you're right. Adrian Cook said, "I saw a dude punching him in his shit." Yeah, for real. I can see Moses and Frank Sanchez going for the IBF if Usyk has to vacate if for some reason due to all the challengers and potential fights to be had. Okay. Hey Jared, I would love to know how Turkey really felt about that match because his face. Yeah, man, I thought I was the only one that saw Turkey was hot. Turkey was hot. Was I the only one that saw that? Turkey was mad. I think that referee ain't gonna get a. I'm not saying he won't get a job, but not Turkey ain't gonna be involved hiring him because Turkey was hot. He was very upset.
And he probably won't signal the ref.
Say that again?
He probably was the one signaled the ref.
I don't know, but that, I think the thing about it is over there in that part of the world, it ain't like, where is this corrupt? Don't get me wrong. If they robbed Francis Ngannou the way they did, they're not above it either. They're still in what's in the best interest of boxing. But at the same token, Turkey probably figuring like, why would you put me in that situation? Because at the end of the day, in that particular part of the world, from what I'm understanding, integrity is supposed to be bigger than it is over here. So you never know. But the business of boxing still won out in both of those situations,
Oh no, I was just joking, brother. That was not serious at all.
No. It wasn't a rebuttal towards you. I'm just saying, just in general, from a standpoint of, a lot of people saying, not a lot of people, but just a few people in my small circle, they were saying, hey, if I would advise it, but if Wilder fought Fury again and he fought him over there in Riyadh or wherever, like, he wouldn't be to do all the cheap stuff he did in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Supposedly they big on integrity over there. That's all I was saying.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Anthony Bolton, Memphis man in the building. He said, salute, what's going on, brother? JD6 said Torres had his lights go out all the way. Yeah, he caught a nasty uppercut by Frank Sanchez.
Or as Junior True said, Brian McKnight granddaddy got that knockout.
Boy.
JD6 said Crawford is a psychopath, though. Yeah. Monster. Benavidez beat Usyk convincingly. Okay. I hear y'all. Truth be told, Benavidez probably walks around at Wilder's fight weight. Yeah, he does. And Bolton said Usyk doesn't want to my bad. Yeah, Usyk doesn't want to be Michael Moore versus George Foreman if he fights Wilder. Yep. That's exactly why everybody's kind of trying to, because people say that fight was bad as far as from a technical standpoint. As the fight I'm talking about is the Chisora versus Wilder. But Wilder showed he
hurt his hand in that fight too, by the way. Just want to let y'all know.
Man, they say Chisora in that fight.
Yeah,
they did multiple times. And
Chisora was kind of. He was cheating. When he would get hurt, he would personally get out the ring.
No,
that was doing that.
I ain't gonna say Chisora was cheating. I'm gonna say the UK boxing structure was cheating, and it was helping Chisora.
Man, he did it like what 3 times?
Because guess what? Because he was getting knocked around the ring. That's why, bruh. Like I said, they saved him because he was gonna get stopped, and they knew it. So they was trying to save him. I mean, anytime it's corner,
Yeah, we know the referee. Yeah, and
the ref, the corner, all of that.
Yeah, the corner. Yeah, helping him back in the ring. Yeah, that's crazy. Ron Wasso said Mike Tyson was a heavyweight champion, and I'm sure Benavidez is bigger in stature. Let Cuzzo go up and get some recognition. Okay. And Bolton said Joe ain't wrong for saying that about Iron Mike. They are booger sugar buddies. Y'all stupid.
Boy.
Yeah, man, but overall, it's safe to say that Usyk did not look good. He looked older. He looked slow, but we could chalk that up to him not taking Rico seriously, which he should have. But yeah, like Big Joe said, he got 2 good fights left. After that, he playing with Father Time. A game that he gonna lose bad. But let's go ahead and go to the final topic of the show. Foster versus Ford. So those who don't know or were sleeping under a rock, Oshaki Foster and Raymond Ford fought, and it did not disappoint. Beautiful boxing from both sides. Oshaki Foster, in my opinion, boxed very good. Kept that jab in the shorter fighter's face, to the point where Raymond started getting a little tired, and then you started seeing him connect with a lot of combinations against Ford. But Ford was catching Oshaki Foster with a lot of good counter punches too, as well. But in my opinion, it was the unanimous decision was correct. Oshaki Foster did win, and then after the fight, he called out Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur Stevenson got in the ring, called Oshaki Foster a bitch, and he ain't ready, he a bum, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go around the panel, and I am Trill Will. I see you, brother. Thank you for coming in, y'all.
Man,
Please,
man, salute to Will, man.
Salute, Will.
Will on there looking sharp.
Speaking of cocaine, no, I'm playing. Shout out to my dog Will.
Oh boy, you not Cocaine Willie. The return of Cocaine Willie.
Y'all stupid.
The return. Who said it? Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Let me stop.
Who said he ever left? I got you, Joe. I got you.
Nowhere.
Cocaine Willie.
Man, but if y'all into like politics, man, this is the channel. I mean, Will originally was an OG talking about boxing, but he pivoted into something in the politics and more serious topics.
With more viewership.
Yeah, more viewership, and he's doing his thing. So please continue to support this brother, man. But
in fact, let me go ahead and get it out the way, bro.
Go ahead.
I just want y'all to know, after the Western Conference Finals, you know what I'm saying, I went to this little kickback, you know what I'm saying. So I saw the post-fight scrum between Shakur and Oshaki Foster, but I didn't see the actual fight, you know what I'm saying.
That's all good, Coach. That's all good. We're still gonna get your perspective. But Big Joe, I'm gonna go to you first, man. What was your thoughts on the fight? And do you think Oshaki Foster is ready for Shakur Stevenson? I don't think so, and I love Oshaki Foster. I like Oshaki Foster, but and then it's a 3-part question. What does Raymond Foster go from here?
Raymond Ford.
Raymond Ford. I gave him both names. My bad. Where does Ford go from here?
Hold on, Phillips. Give me 1 sec. Come back to me.
I got you. Brett, take it over.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So I did actually manage to be able to watch the fight at work here and there. So here's what I got from it. To y'all's point, Raymond Ford actually started off very strong.
He did.
There were some really good exchanges that actually took place those first 3-4 rounds. And then kind of later on, maybe the bottom part of round 5, definitely round 6, and then definitely round 7, you could tell that there was a noticeable decline in energy from Ray Ford. But initially he came, to your point, when Oshaki would try to get overly aggressive, and by the way, him tossing Raymond Ford out the ring was hilarious.
It was.
I am very surprised that they didn't actually deduct points and was like, hey, if you do that. Now they did tell him, hey, if you do that again, you get disqualified. But they didn't take any points, which was great, because I think if they took points, we'd be talking very different. But needless to say, Raymond did a great job at first, and this is going to be the whole theme of this whole speech. At first, Raymond was doing very well catching Usyk coming in. He would hit him with his infamous right hook, and had a straight left hand ready for him right after that. Now Usyk actually did take those shots very well, and he responded with his own right hand and his own left hook. Which, southpaws are susceptible to those punches. Now, Raymond was actually getting the better of those exchanges initially, like at first. And then for whatever reason, Raymond just wouldn't really go to the body as much as I thought that he probably would or should. Even when he was starting off strong, those first 3-4 rounds, he would occasionally end the combination with a nice right hook, to the body or whatnot. But it seemed as though he wanted to land these thudding headshots. So I think the worst thing that actually happened, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about a whole lot at one time. I'm sorry. But I think the worst thing that happened to Raymond Ford was that early success, now that I think about it. Because he was actually winning those exchanges initially. And I think that's the worst thing that probably happened. And he was really dependent, catching Usyk coming in, and Usyk, to his credit, really adjusted very well, just kind of by utilizing his jab movement and then attacking. Jab movement, then attacking. So, once he was able to figure that out, Raymond was still trying to do the same. Raymond was still trying to do the same thing, but it wasn't working. And then it got to a point to where Ray was trying to make small adjustments, but it just wasn't working out. Usyk was the one after the mid rounds catching Raymond coming in, and then eventually Raymond just kind of wore down as the fight was going on. Now, to Raymond's credit, I think, what was it, round 10, and then really the last round, I think that he was trying to get the action back going in his favor. But by then, he got caught by so many shots, just trying to lunge in there and trying to be aggressive, that, the judges felt like Usyk had already won those rounds. But, the other portion of your question is this. I'm not sure whether or not he's actually ready for Shakur. I understand about the sparring, okay? And there's no doubt in my mind that Usyk probably did whoop his ass in sparring. But looking at that size difference, and then also knowing Shakur's abilities, skill set, and pedigree, right, I think in an actual fight, it is very different. It is very different. And obviously, Shakur had one of his crew fight Usyk to just kind of get a feel for him, to see what he looked like. So it was basically scouting tape for him, because him and Raymond Ford are southpaws anyway. And Raymond Ford obviously is a bit of a downgrade versus Shakur. But yeah, Shakur did a good job of trying to scout Usyk to see what he could actually do against him in a real fight. But yeah, that size difference makes me real uncomfortable, man. I think that with Shakur, I think a confident Shakur is probably going to be really dangerous. But I also see a scenario where Shakur may be overly confident, get caught with something coming in, and it's a totally different fight. But just on paper, I don't think that he's actually ready for Shakur. I'd still love to see the fight, but unfortunately, I would have Shakur still winning that particular fight. The other or the last question that you actually had, where does Raymond Ford go from there? I think the 130-pound division is he can still make some noise in that particular division. You just lost to the best guy there. That's it. I don't think that you even have to leave that particular division because Oshaki agreed to fight Shakur at 140. So if Shaq go up to 140 and fight Shakur, that's plenty of food on the table for Raymond Ford. So, I probably wouldn't even go anywhere if I were Ford. I would just try to see who else is available at 130. I know Navarrete is hanging around there somewhere. That would be an interesting fight. So yeah, I mean he could definitely still make a name for himself at 130. Excuse me. And despite the loss that he actually had to Oshaki.
Now I want to ask you this, brother Brent, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
I remember watching an episode of Queens of the Ring. Salute to Nick Jan Bastiana. Basically, they were saying, I guess based on what transpired in sparring, for all intents and purposes, they don't feel like Shakur actually grew out at 130. He moved up to 135 because he really didn't want no smoke with Oshaki Foster. What are your thoughts in regards to that line of thinking about many hardcore boxing fans?
I don't blame them for that line of thinking because of Shakur's actions. And I am so glad you brought that up, Coach. Speaking of Shakur's actions, I kind of am the odd man out with Shakur. I don't like to talk negatively about him, even though he gives us plenty of reasons to. Okay, whether it's him renouncing his blackness and saying that he's Puerto Rican, or doing this little clicked up type stuff to where, I'm not gonna fight my bro and all of that other stuff. And basically, just wasting his skills and abilities not doing that. My thing with Shakur is this: if you're gonna do all that, you need to be aggressive with everybody. Don't be respectful to people like T.O. and Ryan, and then just try to jump down Oshaki's throat, calling them all kinds of colorful adjectives and all of that other stuff. You're real hyped up and you got a whole bunch of energy for somebody that actually, appears to be black, because, Shakur's Puerto Rican. I want to be respectful. Not really. But yeah, anybody with like a darker hue, he got a lot of energy for. But those lighter hue people or lighter shade of brown, shout out to that old singing group. You don't have that type of visceral for them. But if it's somebody that look like us or possibly looks like your mother, because I think she's black, and I'm not saying anything insulting about his mama. I'm just saying that she's black, and obviously you Puerto Rican, so I don't want to step on nobody's toes about that. But anybody that's related to you that's black, Shakur, damn. Anybody that's related to you that's black, you got a whole bunch of energy for. It's a bunch of visceral, and I'll do this and I'll do that to you, and you can come down to the gym and get it and all of that. But if it's somebody else, then you're respectful and you're just trying to, hey man, I'm not even worried about all this stuff that they're saying, and I'm just trying to focus on the fight and all of that. Have the same energy for everybody. I mean, for Christ's sake, this boy was talking about violating you as a man in front of your kids and your girl. Man, if you didn't get up and if you don't get up and slap the boy, make him taste that. You should have made him taste your Puerto Rican ancestors for that one. But yeah, you got a lot of visceral, you got a lot of energy for that. But for somebody that looks like us, but that double standard that he got with I guess with his fellow Hispanics, it's frustrating, to say the least. It's very frustrating. But yeah, I don't blame them people for thinking the way that they do. At one point, I was thinking the same way. But I think if it's lucrative for Shakur, he'll do it. But it's got to be lucrative for him in order for him to do it. He's not gonna fight. He's not gonna fight Oshaki off principle or what he should be doing. He should actually fight Oshaki next. Because let's think about it. Ryan gonna jerk you around. You know, Ryan them gonna jerk you around because Ryan figure you gonna need him more than he needs you. And shoot, you've already demonstrated that you gonna weasel your way out of a Devin fight right now. And then shoot, everybody else, I guess, is quote unquote too big for you or whatever. Which is another frustrating thing. But yeah, I guess if it's lucrative for him, he'll do it. But if not, and he only does that to us, man. He'll jump at the chance to fight somebody like Ryan Garcia. He jumped at the chance to fight somebody like Teofimo Lopez. Shit. This motherfucker here, boy. I'm sorry. This beef fight's gonna come out. Anyway, back to being Brent. I just think that he should not waste his skills and ability trying to make business decisions and, you know, take the fights that actually will help him improve his career. That way he can get the more lucrative fights down the road. That was just a long-winded answer for your question, Coach, and I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, you good, but I mean, a lot of Hugh point is an excellent point from the standpoint of, you know, Jamel Herring's supposed to be your brother, and you disrespect him the way you did. But when it comes to the mother folks, you don't have the same kind of smoke for them.
Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely. It really burns me up when somebody does that like that, and then you have the audacity to act like you pro-black, but you Puerto Rican. Boy, that man really does frustrate me with that. Like, you think them Puerto Ricans finna accept you? You don't even speak Spanish. You don't speak Spanish. Shoot. They not finna, man, you think you're the real life Miles Morales. They not gonna, man, get the out of here, man. You think these people finna embrace you? Okay. I tell you what, Shakur, and this is a joke, but I'm halfway serious. Try and see if you can get a fight on Puerto Rican parade day or whatever. Try to get a Puerto Rican Day fight and see what they tell you. You gonna be fighting on Juneteenth? Dang it, boy, I see that he could actually be a legendary fighter, y'all, and this is the reason I'm so mad. He can be a legendary fighter. He just gets in his own way by just renouncing who he is first and foremost. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you can call yourself Puerto Rican, but they gonna call you the same N-word that they call me. And I'm sorry for taking up as much time as I'm taking up, but I'm just really getting real passionate about how this man actually carries himself and how destructive that can actually be towards what could potentially be his legacy. It just frustrates me, man. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna let the rest of my brothers have it, man. I'm sorry for being so long-winded.
No, you good. We let you have it, man. But no lies told. No lies told at all. Shakur Stevenson does have the goods. It's just that as far as
I'm gonna disagree with you though, Jared. I feel like he got all the talent and all the tools, but I feel like something missing with him. Because if he was as confident as he said he was, he would have fought Devin the Dream Haney. He would have fought some of these people that, like Brother Brent was saying, has a darker hue. But I don't know if he got that same kind of He talked the talk, but he don't walk the
We
walk.
all saying the same thing. I'm disagreeing with you. When I say he has the goods, he has the tools. But the other stuff you got, you brother said no lies told.
Definitely
But
not.
Aaron Bolton said facts. Brent Shakur should have slapped old boy with some Goya powder in his hand. You stupid.
I like that one.
Big Joe. Going back to you, man. What did you think of the fight? Do you think Shakur Stevenson and the Shockey Foster fight is going to be made, and will it be competitive? And thirdly, where does Raymond Ford go from here?
Well, as far as the fight goes, it was a very competitive fight. For the first 5 rounds, it was a very competitive fight. But the fight that we saw shows you the difference between a contender and a champion. A champion is always going to have another gear, and a champion is always going to find a way to win. Shockey Foster showed up, whether it was his, with him being older and having more experience, he showed up in dog shape. Raymond Ford had a hard weight cut, and that showed up towards the end of the fight, to where he literally was playing possum and hoping to catch Shockey Foster with something, but Foster showed he had very quick feet. He's very disciplined. He stick to the game plan, and he picked his pockets and he picked his shots, to where 1-2, catch him with a check hook, move his feet, slide his feet to get in, slide his feet to get out, so Shockey Foster is a very active fighter, so it was a good showcase for him because, again, like he said, I'm gonna beat up the son so I can go beat up the daddy. You know what I mean? Because, again, the only reason why he fought Raymond Ford because Shakur Stevenson put him as we say, like Dillian White is, the lichen. You just guarding the door to make sure nobody get in here. So, but yeah, I don't think that fight was a tie. It wasn't. So whoever that judge was, it is what it is. I will say, it's I can give Shockey Foster 7 rounds, 8 rounds, but it was a competitive fight for the first 5 rounds. Some of those rounds could have went either way. As far as Raymond Ford, he just lost to the better guy in the division. So just because he can't beat Shockey Foster don't mean that he can't beat the other guys at 130. So as long as he stick to it, as long as he works on his his wind, because I haven't seen any other Raymond Ford fights, but the fact that you got to this occasion and you kind of gassed out towards the end, maybe it could be the bad weight cut, maybe because you were ice grilling Shockey Foster for a whole week and that gets a little tiring after a while. Who knows? But I believe that Ford could be a champion at 130. He just can't beat Shockey Foster. Now, regarding Shockey and Shakur, a lot of folks feel that Shakur been ducking Shockey Foster since Shakur's at 130. So whether if Shockey is ready to fight Shakur Stevenson, I'm not the person to say that because we don't know who's going to show up on fight night. Everybody thought that Usyk was going to destroy old boy, and he showed up not ready to go. Not saying Shakur's not disciplined enough, but we never know what we're going to get on fight night. And Shockey Foster is the guy who looks like who's determined. Again, he needs a fight. He needs a legacy fight for him. He's been chasing after Shakur for the longest. So, and Shakur has this mindset of he feel like he just big dogging everybody, and I'm this and I'm that, and you garbage. Well, if you garbage, then take me to the trash can then. That's the best way to see it. You don't tell me how good you are. Let me see it. Because right now, they both ain't got no fight right now. But I heard Shakur is fighting somebody. We'll see if that manifests. But I don't think he's going to get that fight. Shockey. I think Shockey's still going to keep getting the run around. But I think that'll be a great fight. It'll be, again, they both live in Houston. They have a history from sparring and knowing each other. There'll be a good build up trash talking wise. But again, if somebody's easy work, well then show me that I'm easy work then on fight night. That's why we want to see certain fights. We're gonna see if he's gonna show up or not. So shout out to Shockey Foster and what Shakur did. Again, what Shakur did ain't no different than him sending Devin Haney a bottle, talking about signing a contract when it ain't no contract. It ain't no difference. This is just who Shakur is. He's Shakur Twitterson for a reason. So a lot of his antics he doesn't surprise me because that's just the kind of guy that he is. So whether he's black or Puerto Rican, Shakur is who Shakur is. So shout out to Oshaki Foster. I really hope we get the Shakur fight, which I don't think he will. And again, I've always said, if somebody's easy work, if somebody's garbage, if Oshaki Foster's garbage, then who is your man's who got beat up by Oshaki Foster? You know what I mean? So if Oshaki's Foster is garbage, then Raymond Ford must be dumpster juice. Then you know what I mean? So shout out to Oshaki. And again, he's on Shakur bumper. Again, if he's easy work, show me. I want to see it.
Facts.
So what you were saying at towards the end is Shakur is the clout chaser too. That's what you were saying, right, Big Joe?
Hey, Shakur Twitterson, cloud chasing, he ducking, he could be all that, So Shakur can have all the talent in the world. It don't matter unless you prove it against somebody, who's valid. And right now, everybody want to see him fight Oshaki Foster. The fact that you put your little homie in front of you lets you know kind of character that you are. Because if you got smoke with somebody, you ain't gonna put your homie in front of you. You're gonna run to the smoke and get it out the way. You know what I mean? So, if he used his homie Raymond Ford as a shield or for scouting purposes, it don't matter for scouting or not, because both of y'all been sparring forever, and supposedly Oshaki got the best, got the best out of you. So, scouting or not, if you think he easy work, if you think he's garbage, take him to the trash then.
Well said, y'all brothers cooking, man. Coach, I know you didn't watch the fight, but as far as the Oshaki Foster and the possible Shakur Stevenson fight, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, me personally, I really would like to see the fight. I mean, I don't know how it would work out for Oshaki Foster to jump from 130 to 140. I don't know how that component of it will work. But in terms of the actual fight, yeah, I'm all for it. I want to see it, and I'm going to keep it a buck. Kind of co-signing what the brother said. I kind of feel like Shakur was clout chasing, and he was overtly disrespectful. I don't think he has no intent on fighting Oshaki Foster, if you ask me. I think more than anything, he just was doing it for, just to kind of clickbait from the standpoint of, yeah, I'm clout chasing, I'm looking for a headline, but I don't think he has no intent of ever fighting Oshaki Foster, if you ask me.
All right, and Coach, since Raymond, the young boy, Raymond Ford lost. I'm about to say Foster again. Raymond Ford. Where does he go from here?
I agree with the brother's sentiments. I mean, I think Oshaki Foster is the best fighter in the division. And if he's going to potentially move up, whether he moves up to 140 or 135, whether he moves to 135 or 140, I think if you Raymond Ford and you stay put, I think you'll be straight, because I think you'll be straight. I'm not saying you would be the best guy in the division if Oshaki Foster move up, but you one of the better fighters in 130 if you stay, in my personal opinion,
Okay. JB. So since you watched the fight, so it's a 3-part question. So what did you think about the fight as far as Foster and Ford? What did you think about Shakur Stevenson and Foster, that fight possibly happening in the future? And where does Raymond Ford go from here since he lost?
Yeah, man, and you already know that before the fight started. On Friday, I picked Foster to win. I'm a big fan of Oshaki Foster. As far as I like his story, and I like his resume. He fought some very good dudes. Conceição, his battles with him, he lost that fight that some people thought he won. It was a very close fight. Came back and beat him. He beat Nova And he beat some other dude that was very good. Cool Boy. He beat Cool Boy after Cool Boy. He lost against a New Wave, but
Monster.
then came back
Yeah.
and beat the dog shit out of Brandon Figueroa. So that was a good win for Foster. I just knew that just watching Foster fight, he has another level as far as he make adjustments later in the fight, and I knew that was going to give Ford a lot of problems, especially going back to the Nick Ball fight when Nick Ball started, putting that heat on him in the later rounds. He started. I realized he started to slow down, and looks like he changed that. But I noticed that he hurt in his last couple of fights. He hurts his opponents. So if he's not hurting you, and if he's not outworking you, he starts to slow down, and he needs to work on that. I think he's going to be a very good fighter. He needs to work on that. But as far as the fight, like Brent perfectly said, it was very technical. It was very strategic at first. You could see Ford was very the faster fighter, the more athletic fighter. But I was telling the fam, Jared and Pops, as we were watching the fight, that hey man, Foster is the better boxer. Yes, Ford is the faster fighter, but watch Foster when the rounds go on, and in the later rounds you start to see Foster going into that another gear, a 1-2. Then he goes to 1-2 to the body. Then he'll change it again, 1-2 up top. Then 1-2 to the body. And I said, oh, he got this boy rhythm now. He got this boy rhythm, and you start to see him. He started like y'all Texas boys say, and I heard Black Fight fans say he stepped to him. He started stepping to him in the later round and putting that thing on him. And like Brent said, he started to lay on the ropes and wait on that big punch. But he didn't really know what to do after that. After he couldn't rely on his athleticism, he had nothing left for Foster after that. And I saw that, and I knew Foster saw that as well. What Foster does from there, I already said he needs to work on that. He don't need to.
You mean
he fought
Ford?
a good fight. Ford. I'm sorry. What Ford I already said. Ford needs to work on that. I already said that. He slows down. He needs to work on getting another gear. He may need to change his what he does to get his stamina. He probably needs to do more road work, running, and stamina, stuff like that. And his training regimen or his camp, because every big fight that I've seen him in, especially in that Nick Ball fight, he started to fade when he couldn't knock his opponent out. But there's no need for him to keep have his head down. Foster was just a better fighter, and he's battle tested too. If you look at, like I said, Foster's resume, he fought some dogs, and he had some story. He kind of like have a story where he lost at the beginning of his career, and it made him better. He's more of a tougher opponent now, especially in the later rounds. And he's a champion fighter because in the championship rounds, he's a better fighter. So now, as far as the him and Foster and Shakur, look, man, I'm not a fan of people saying somebody can't beat somebody and they ain't fighting. Cause everybody didn't everybody say that Roy Jones was gonna beat the shit out of Tarver, and what happened? Didn't everybody say that
The rematch,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson was gonna beat what's your boy
Buster
Buster
Douglas.
Douglas.
Buster Douglas?
So we don't know. And what happened, with Usyk? Wasn't he was supposed to beat the shit out of old boy?
Rico, yeah, that's true.
Let me tell you something. And 78 said this years ago. Something about when two prime black fighters get together. It's magic. Because the people, the same thing with two Mexicans and Puerto Rican. But let me tell you something. Two black fighters is up there too, man. You know what I'm saying? When you got Hearns, Hagler, you know what I'm saying? Leonard, Hagler, Leonard, Hearns. It's magic, man. So if you got Foster and they don't like each other, man, Shakur can get in there thinking that Foster's sweet if he want to. He gonna end up like Roy Jones, and Roy Jones is a king. He's a god in boxing. If that happened to him, if that happened to Roy Jones, what the hell you think that's going to happen? Because all you need is one bad night. And Foster can be your Huckleberry. But I don't want to be a fan where I'm talking about sitting up here talking about, well, we already know that Foster is gonna lose to Shakur. No, we don't. What you mean? Fight him and see. Because at the same time, man, hey, this is boxing. And when it's done right, this is a beautiful sport. But when this bullshit, people keep letting these fighters get away, not fighting who they supposed to fight, then that's when people start not watching and streaming shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
I would love to see that fight. To answer your question, I think it's a very competitive fight. The only prime black fighter that I was interested in him fighting that was probably he old as hell, but was Herring, Jamal Herring, and he was old though. He was on his way out, so that really didn't impress me. You know what I'm saying? So, he beat up on these flat-footed Mexicans and like that, but I don't know, man. Looks like he's taking the blueprint from Floyd, but I ain't gonna go into that. But I want to see the fight, man. And I answered the 3 questions. Was there another question, or just that 3?
No, you answered them all. Not in order, but I mean, you answered the questions. You did good, man. Good stuff, fellas. Good stuff, man. Anything else y'all want to go over before we start wrapping it up, man? Because I don't want to wrap up the show if y'all have something else to say.
We cooked today, bro.
Yeah, we cooked for almost a strong 3 hours, man. I can't even think of nothing right now.
Okay, and the NFL, it's OTA, so everybody
So
see
y'all,
what
so
they
y'all
got.
ain't trying to talk about old Jackson Dart, huh? Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Oh no,
Okay,
hey,
we can do that.
We can say that. We can do that next week. Ain't nothing. We can give it next week. It's up to y'all.
Man, bump that.
I'll give you a bonus, Joe. You can throw in Maga Mason.
Oh man. Okay.
See, we brought
Sacrificial
it up
lamb.
now. Hey, Jerry said that everybody want to bring something up. That's hey, so we can talk about it.
And it's funny, John Harbaugh went over there.
Oh yeah. I got some words about Boomer Esiason too.
Let's get it cooking. This will be a 3-hour show. Then fuck it, let's get it.
Gonna be a 5-hour show.
So Jackson Dart made everybody full aware that he is a MAGA supporter and he supports President Trump. And I know it's more to it, but that's the gist. Which I'm not surprised.
Abdul Carter, is his teammate, was on the record saying that he that's his all the things. Everybody on here played football before. You got to keep it in the locker room. But he basically said, "Hey, man, that's my quarterback." But I disagree. It's my job to let him know that I disagree. With him supporting Donald Trump, and that's still my quarterback. I don't hate him and everything, but if he can say that he support Donald Trump, I can say that I disagree with Donald Trump and I don't support Donald Trump. So salute to Abdul Carter.
Yeah, everybody in social media was coming after him. I seen a black dude saying, "Man, you lame as fuck. Shut up." For speaking, if you don't sit your raccoon that probably 300 pounds can't lift 250 off the rack, talking to this young boy that can lift 500 easily. Because he just telling you what he believes in, giving his opinion. Which is a free country. Right.
Man, that's crazy. And don't just I told y'all. I just don't know. Everybody was talking about John. Raven fans was talking about John Harbaugh. This we gonna miss John. No, New York Giants fans gonna see.
Yeah. I hope. David Falele over there too. So, excuse me, Daniel Falele. So, yeah, it's gonna be.
Hope Trump gonna help Jackson get some better offensive linemen. That's all I know. Cause he gonna be running for his life this year.
Big Joe, what's your thoughts on this foolishness?
So the same people who were saying that politics has no place in sports, I'm tired of hearing about politics. These are the same ones who are okay with Jackson Dart coming out and not only professing but standing on his support for Donald Trump. Of course, the supporters love to bring up the Colin Kaepernick situation, but they all neglect the reason behind what Colin did. Colin did not do what he do to profess his love for the current president. He didn't do it to show that I'm a Democrat or whatnot. He did it to bring awareness, and that awareness was brought by him asking a Navy SEAL, "What's the best way that I can do this?" And he said, "Well, just take a knee." And that's what he did. Somehow that knee sparked a whole conversation about all type of stuff. And then the whole shut up and dribble and everything. LeBron James has always been vocal about how he stands in certain places. That's why everybody loves Muhammad Ali, because he stood up for what he believed in. Cool. So everybody who's saying Jackson Dart is, for everybody who said there's no politics in sports, Jackson Dart wouldn't be up there if he didn't play sports. If Jackson Dart wasn't a quarterback of the New York Giants, he will not be up there introducing the president of the United States. So there's a lot of NFL players who are Trump supporters, whether they're silent about it, whether they're professing it, like Bosa and and Jackson Dart. There's a lot of Republicans, American supporters in the NFL, including every single one of the owners. So let's not get that twisted too. So, shout out to Abdul Carter for standing on business. A lot of these so-called Negroes love saying, I'm not my ancestors and I'm gonna stand up and this and this and this. But when finally somebody does it, you got these Negroes coming out here talking about shut up and mind your business. So shout out to Abdul Carter for saying, "Hey, I ain't got a problem with what he believe in, but don't get mad when I stand up on what I believe in." If you ever been in a locker room situation, that's gonna happen. You're not gonna get along with all your teammates. You're gonna have people from you got people from all over the world. You got teammates from Alabama, Kentucky, Florida, Seattle, wherever. You got some guys who are from overseas, and you bring them into a locker room to have them to come together as a cohesive unit for one goal, and that's to win the Super Bowl. And it just happened to be the climate today. And from my understanding, Fernando Mendoza is a Trump supporter. But he knew better than to go to Indiana's thing and to stand up there. He had a good work excuse. You better use that excuse, because now all eyes are on Jackson Dart. This is the same Jackson Dart that all the black folks loved when he was doing the Dougie and wearing gold chains. He's the token white guy who's gonna come to the cookout because he know how to dance and crip walk, and he know how to wear Jabot jeans and everything. And all the black folks love him. But then when you find out who he really is, now you're going to sit there with your mouth wide open. Jackson Dart is a white kid who was a quarterback at Ole Miss. It's the same Ole Miss that his former coach, Lane Kiffin, was saying it's hard to recruit black players there because of the heritage at Ole Miss. So we can't be surprised when we have a Jackson Dart who has all the belief system of the president of the United States. So I'm not surprised who Jackson Dart is. I'm just glad he came out and showed who he is. He's professing his love like Joey Bosa. With Joey Bosa, ever since he came out with his support, that boy been getting injured every single year. I don't know if that's karma. I don't know if that's what, but that boy can't stay healthy for whatever reason. Same reason why Christian McCaffrey had a halfway smile when Bosa put the MAGA hat on him. Like, stop playing. When you know dang well McCaffrey's a MAGA supporter too. Everybody ain't coming out the closet like Jackson Dart and Bosa. So again, that goes for owners and everything else. And then of course you're gonna have old farts like Boomer Esiason gonna come out and say what they gonna say. Because that's just who they are. But unfortunately, Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart is your quarterback. Don't mean you have to like him. Don't mean you have to love him. All you gotta do is get sacks. All he has to do is make touchdowns. Y'all go to the Super Bowl. Everybody in the locker room is not friends with each other. Everybody in the locker room don't have everybody's number. Everybody, you're just there for a common goal. Normally, you're best friends with everybody in your position group anyway. In your position group or, on your side of the ball. So I'm going to say this. Shout out to Jackson Dart for standing on his beliefs and showing who he is. And shout out to Abdul Carter for standing on business and being who he is. Because that is supposed to be the fabric of America, and that's freedom of speech. But again, you can't say there's no politics in sports, because if it wasn't for Jackson Dart being a quarterback of the New York Giants, he wouldn't be up there introducing Trump anyways.
Facts. Man, look, y'all, a lot of us have been fooled and duped by, a lot of people, because especially if they are familiar with the culture, like they do a dance or know a song or even have a swag as one of us, that doesn't mean that they have your best interest at heart.
Message.
Some of y'all discernment, as some of us as black folk, when it comes to discerning, that sucks.
They don't have discernment because they want to be accepted.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And to make your point, Travis Kelce. Everybody's shocked that Travis Kelce is now this big time Trump supporter, MAGA supporter. Travis Kelce is a white boy from rural Ohio, a small town in Ohio.
Oh, so he's not from Cincinnati?
He's not from Cincinnati. He went to Cincinnati. He's from a small town in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, you're going to have a teammate, a white teammate who is cool, again, can do the Dougie, who might have a fetish for black women, who might like the appeal of them. But then when the rubber hit the road, you see what he do.
Mm-hmm.
He take off. He go from having a fade. So now he looking like a country rock singer. He got the Starsky and Hutch stash and everything. That's just who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see him dancing in the end zone anymore? I don't see him. He spiked the ball now. he even got his girlfriend, who was a big time Democrat. Now she a Trump supporter. Hey, that's who these people are. But to many of our folks, they want to be accepted to where that the discernment is shut off. Again, you in the what Colin Kaepernick said, the NFL is a plantation. All the 30-some owners, they're all Trump supporters. Every single one of them. So we all remember how Jerry Jones was when all that stuff was kicking off. If anybody take a knee, y'all getting fired on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this is just the climate. So, and Jackson Dart stands on the beliefs of the owners, so they are going to protect them to a degree. Now, they can't protect them on that field, but when it comes to media criticism, y'all see who come out and show support for him. And that's guys like Boomer Esiason. So, hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. For real. Ann Bolton said Jackson Dart was in concussion protocol 5 times. I see he's going to get in concussion protocol 5 more times. Oh, y'all don't see because John Harbaugh, Teflon John, brought Daniel Falele. He's trying to make this boy a star. But he can't block. He's just not a good offensive lineman.
And then how many people and then Zay Jones already came. Zay Flowers already came out and tell him how how he be having unnecessary practice and everybody hurt and sore and stuff. How many people is out for the year with torn ACLs for the Giants as of now? 3, and they just started OTAs.
Oh damn.
Why would you? I can understand it was back in the day, you know what I mean, where the schedule wasn't that long. But these brothers playing 17 seasons. I mean 17 games.
18.
No, 18. Excuse me, 18.
No, it's 17 games. It's 18 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the correction, Brent. I
Oh, yeah.
swear it was 18.
No, yeah, it's 18 weeks. It's just 17 games. Everybody got a bye week.
Facts.
That's
Okay.
crazy how the NFL, you only get one bye week. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go in college, you got 2. In college, you got 2 bye weeks.
Well, I mean, yeah, for the bowl games. Is that right,
Southern
Joe?
had 3.
If you count the early games, you get an Alabama versus Alabama versus the Nickel State. That's a bye week.
Boy, you wrong for that. Wrong for that.
And then you of course you have your bye week, and then if you make a bowl game, you're gonna have dang near 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off, and it don't be a national championship game. You might be waiting until February 1st, so. But yeah, I think they should have more than one. I know they're trying to make it 18 games. Don't they? Isn't there like a pre-Thanksgiving game now this year?
I'm not sure.
I heard there is a game the day before Thanksgiving on Wednesday. I can't imagine playing on a Sunday, then you got to suit up again on Wednesday night. Ooh.
What the heck is they thinking? Like Wednesday is install day. You need Monday to recuperate. You need Tuesday off. So yeah, you need Monday for like rehab. And then Tuesday is usually their day off. And then Wednesday is like the install. And then Thursday is like padded practice. And then Friday is kind of like a light practice. And then Saturday is walkthroughs. And then you got the game on Sunday. That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts.
If you got somebody like a Peacock offering you $500 million for one game, you gonna play on Wednesday? You're not gonna do it.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to blur out my. I guess I have to blow my ACL. I don't know. That is wild, man. I wonder how that's gonna work. Like, how are you gonna install a game plan?
Well,
Well, I mean, you can't
Hopefully,
install a full one, but
hopefully the guys who play Thursday night football, hopefully they play on Wednesday, that next Wednesday, so at least they get some days off. I can't imagine playing on a Sunday to Wednesday. So
Yeah, that's
hopefully
crazy.
they set it.
that
Hopefully they set it up like that. But yeah, you're
okay.
right. You play on Sunday. Mondays, well, depending on how sorry you are, you may have a day off or not, but on your coach. But normally, when Monday's your day off, you may go and get a workout in, you get some treatment in or whatnot. You go to the stadium on Tuesday, you get some more treatment in, you get a workout in, you have meetings and all that kind of stuff. Or if you're winning, coach may say, I don't see you till Wednesday, depending on how good your team is. And then of course you got practice on Wednesdays. Normally that late into the season, you're not really practicing anymore. Have shells on, if anything. You're not really hitting. It's not like the olden days anymore. We have had a practice week 17. So might be wearing shorts and a helmet. On Wednesday, and then Thursday, you start winding down, and then you travel. Friday, you have walkthroughs on Friday, and you travel on Saturday, and then you got the game on Sunday. So that's normally how it goes. But
Yeah.
David Scott. Salute, fam. What's going on, my brother David Scott? What's going on, man? I am True Will say y'all cooking. We appreciate it, man. Just here chopping it up. Steph Boone said John Harbaugh got those dudes full pass on Fridays. That's what man. This dude, that's why we were glad to get him out of here.
Yeah.
Boy, shout outs to the New York Giants. You get what you pay for, baby.
Yes, sir. And they get the owner dumbass gave this idiot
Full control.
Full control.
Hey, let's get back on January 6th dart now. We're gonna get back to the main topic. He's slipping away a little bit.
So
he's a truck $42.
That's
so
why
we still popping.
Yeah.
Doing everything his way.
Okay. I'm gonna try not to be as long-winded. Because I definitely gotta get in here now. All right. So with Jackson Dart, and I'm actually gonna throw in my backup quarterback, Mega Mason Rudolph.
Who did say the N-word. That's why I got cracked in the head by Myles Garrett.
I am no longer denying that, Joseph. I am no longer denying that. I will still say that it's speculative, but I'm no longer denying it.
Speculatively got his head busted open, but go ahead.
I mean, it wasn't funny then, but it is kind of funny now. Like,
the character of Myles Garrett, he definitely said the N-word. Definitely.
He looked like one of the covers or posters for like the Whack-A-Mole game or something like that. That is funny, boy.
Before you go, Brent, let me tell you what was more hilarious.
What?
When we had Earl Thomas for that 1 year, he knocked the dog shit out of old boy, and he was paralyzed on the field. And I could have sworn when his lifeless body fell to the ground, his fingers pointed to the exit. So
that was hilarious.
Okay,
I remember that.
Yeah. It didn't help that they kept the helmet on him. So it made him look like, he goes to one of those classes that you stay in all day with carpet in it. It was to y'all's point, it was kind of funny, but just getting back on subject here. It's not surprising to me who are Trump supporters. To me, that just kind of shows, like Joe said, who they really are. And with Trump being in office, these people feel like they don't have to be ashamed of who they really are. Like him getting elected the way he did is just a reflection of what this country really is. And to be very honest with you, I would rather know who not the F with than I would with somebody that is pretending to be friendly, like a Jackson Dart. And then they turn around and do stuff like that. And then everybody's, shocked and appalled and all that other good stuff. I mean, they made, Ryan Coogler, shout outs to him, made that phenomenal movie for a reason, made Sinners for a reason. You shouldn't invite everybody to cookout because they could do certain things, or, I think it's just it's just the, I guess it's just the spectacle of somebody doing something that's part of our culture that really, if you think about it from a common sense aspect, that's a person that shouldn't be doing that. Like, and I'm gonna just get real specific, like white girls with really big booties and thick thighs. To Joe's point, Travis Kelce, who can, talk black, he get a fade and all of that. My quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, on the low, he was actually dating black chicks, like when he was in school. He was dating black chicks when he was in school. That's why he had the fade and all of that. And then, as his career went on, his hair looked a lot different. He talked a lot different. So, people show you who they really are. And like Maya Angelou say, when they show you who they really are, you got to believe them. But just getting on that. Yeah, if you show me who you really are, you've convinced me that, I can't, there are some places I just can't go with you. And then having said that, Jackson, please, give us the Dougie back. It appears that you no longer need it and you've traded it in for something else. So, go ahead, give us the Dougie back. Take everything out, empty out the swag bag, give it all back because you no longer need it. And then for, my second string quarterback, Maga Mason, that's not surprising. I'm just not, hopefully you don't lose us any games or anything else like that. But I know where not to go as far as like, building like some sort of rapport or something like that for the guy. At this point, Maga Mason is our second string quarterback. And hopefully he don't lose us no games. I'm not, trying to be beholden to him as some hero or anything else like that. He's our second string quarterback. His job is to actually help this team win football games. And I guess as long as he can do that without actually mucking it up, then, I ain't got nothing to say about it either way. Now, as far as Boomer Esiason goes, saying that somebody that hits quarterbacks for a living is not a man is incredibly stupid. It's incredibly stupid. I mean, God knows how many concussions you've had getting hit by guys that hit quarterbacks all the damn time. And then this isn't the first, nor is it going to be the last time that Boomer has actually taken some controversial stands. He took a controversial stand, obviously, with the Colin Kaepernick thing. And I'm saying controversial because it affects us black people, black Americans specifically. It affects black Americans. I was thinking about this, and then Boomer is a type of person that if something doesn't actually apply to him, it's not under any type of consideration. He doesn't consider the fact that, black Americans have been the most persecuted race on the face of this planet, and the sufferings and the long sufferings that we actually have to go through on a day-to-day basis, because we can't take this off and be somebody else. We are who we are, and we shouldn't feel ashamed. We should not have to walk around and feel ashamed or feel inferior, because we are who we are. If we don't F with the president, we don't F with the president. That should be it. That should be all. You should just respect that just as much as we should respect y'all supporting that type of person. But yeah, you have so much to say about the situation with Colin Kaepernick. You had so much to say about the situation with George Floyd. Now you have so much to say about this particular situation, which really ain't none of your effing business anyway, Boomer. You said all that just to actually get clicks and views, and congratulations, it did work. But once again, Boomer, you have proven that you really are racist. To be honest with you, you're a closed-minded racist, and again, once someone shows you who they are, you gotta believe them. So, that's it for me. I'm actually kind of all right knowing that these people are coming out the way that they are. The same way y'all shouldn't feel ashamed of who y'all are, we not finna feel ashamed of who we are either. And if you got a problem with that, shit, come see me about it. Boy, yeah. I'm done. Before I get too long-winded, I'm done, man. I'm done.
Okay. JB? Oh, no. Let me get Coach first. What was your thoughts?
No. Let JB go. I'm gonna go last.
All right, JB, go ahead.
I mean, we pretty much said it when we went on our rant, man. Look, Jackson Dart, you know what I'm saying, can, support who he support, but people can't stop, especially as Joe put it, NFL players are not supposed to talk about politics, but looks like they pick and choose when they want to do that as well, do what the hell they want to do anyway, so that's not a surprise. So I'm proud of Abdul Carter for standing up for him, to let him know, hey, I don't agree with that. Since we talking about politics shit, let's talk about politics, and I 100% agree with him. You know what I'm saying? Especially, with this president we got, a lot of, people don't, especially us on this panel, we don't agree with him or agree with his philosophy or anything. So people like us and even the athletes who are in the NFL should be able to speak their mind on that. So that's that. As far as, like you said, the John Harbaugh situation, John Harbaugh always been a sneaky Trump supporter, and probably I'm going far as to say closet racist, sneaky, throwing your rock high, your hand type of racist. Now I'm starting to see who leaked all those rumors and shit about Lamar. You know what I'm saying? But let's just go back to like Joe said, let's not get too far off a topic. Yeah, so like I said, I'm proud of Abdul Carter, man. So I hope he has success, and as for him personally, I hope he go out and ball this year. And at Jackson Dart, good luck to you, buddy. You gonna need it.
All right, and then Coach.
Truthfully speaking, I agree with all the brothers. They definitely cooked this topic as well cooked. But just to kind of give some context, I went to Assumption High School in Napoleonville, Louisiana, and people might not know what Napoleonville is. Earlier, Big Joe mentioned Nicholls State. Well, where I'm at now is like 35 minutes up the road from Nicholls State University. And, it's South Louisiana. You got some racism. And truthfully speaking, to me, there's only two types of racism. There's covert racism and there's overt racism. The overt racists, they make it known that they're racist and they really don't care. And then there's covert closet racists. Like, they do and say some sneaky little racist stuff, but they really try to keep it undercover and under wraps. And one thing one of my cousins told me, and he was accurate about it, when you get somebody like a Barack Obama elected as president, or somebody like Donald Trump elected as president, people feel more comfortable in those moments showing who they really are. So if you're a covert racist when Barack Obama gets elected, you might feel more comfortable being an overt racist. if you're covert racist and Donald Trump gets elected, hey, you'll feel more comfortable showing your support for that particular individual. So at the end of the day, I just feel like when it comes to a lot of these, especially these athletes, and like I said, to kind of give further context, the high school I went to, like my senior year, Brandon Jacobs was a freshman, and Tremont Williams was a freshman also. So those are like, of all the players I played with at Assumption, those were like the only two that made it to the NFL. And besides the two of them, like Brad Hill became the starting running back at Grambling. So those were like the three most prominent players that I played with. But at the end of the day, like Big Joe said, everybody in the locker room not gonna be friends. Everybody gonna have their own little clique anyway. But when certain issues arise, you kind of know who is who anyway. And in some instances, guys tell on themselves. Other instances, guys tell on themselves and they really don't care. So at the end of the day, it's pretty much, it depends on what bracket you fit in. And, salute to Abdul Carter. As far as I'm concerned, F. Jackson Dart, F. Donald Trump. It is what it is. I mean, I stand firm on what I believe in. And, Boom outside, we know he been a racist anyway, so it kind of is what it is. So at the end of the day, for all those individuals, and a lot of these racist individuals, they have a problem with athletes expressing themselves when it goes against what they believe or what they think. So that's why when you got the shut up and dribble or the shut up and play, even though Colin Kaepernick meant it, you got people like Donald Trump, like basically saying, hey, it's disrespect to the flag, disrespect to all the individuals that went overseas. And I'm like, come on, bro. He never said that. So at the end of the day, racist people find racism in what they want to find it in. So at the end of the day, I don't like Jackson Dart. F him. It is what it is.
Beautifully said, brothers. Yeah, just didn't want to end the show without speaking on that foolishness. Yeah, like I said, we normally don't talk about politics, but yeah, I had to address that. Bet you know where we stand on that. If you don't like it, you can move on. But let's go ahead and wrap it up. Coach, let everybody know where they can beat you and see you.
You can meet me and see me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. However, I'm primarily here on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Coach 67 Sports TV. Lately, I've been slacking in terms of my content, but I'm getting to the point of school. Getting to the point of the calendar year where, this week was the first full week I had going in terms of summer break. But I'm gonna get back on the grind. But we appreciate everybody that's been supporting both my channel, Jared channel, Brent Fox. Supporting the entire LDBC. Everybody that rock with y'all. Everybody that rock with us, we rock with y'all. Everybody's been supporting us. We greatly value. We greatly appreciate you. Have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Blessed, phenomenal weekend. Salute to the awesome and amazing LDBC.
Yes, sir.
And salute to the family, you dig?
Yes, sir. Brent, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you, brother.
Oh, my bad. I have a show called It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. I'm usually trying to do content on Fridays, so y'all can catch me there on YouTube, of course.
Yes, sir. Y'all make sure y'all check these brothers out. Big Joe, let everybody know where they can beat you and see you or what you into.
Brothers hear me?
Yes, sir.
You can catch me on all LDBC. You can catch me on all LDBC platforms, showing love to the brothers and sisters of the mighty, you dig? All Hillside Bourbon.
You kind of cut out there, Big Joe. You're cutting in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you. You stopped at
Loud,
Old Hillside Bourbon. Go ahead.
yeah, loud
Yeah,
and clear now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Old Hillside Bourbon Company, black-owned, veteran-owned company. Um, our Harlem Hellfighter release was a success. We pretty much sold out of all of our bottles online. We only have a handful of cases left across America. So if you want an Old Hillside bottle, check your local stores to see if they have one. There we'll have some more collaborations later on this year, so look out for that. Salute to everybody. Hey, we still got football. Still got the UFL league. They're in the playoffs now. Before you know it, it's going to be the NFL. So support the underdogs in the UFL league who are trying to make a name for themselves, who are trying to make a roster spot. If y'all never played football before, playing football a whole season, 8, 9, 10 games, and then going from that straight to camp, that's a lot of wear and tear on your body. But
Yes, sir.
if you have a dream, you want to accomplish that dream, sometimes you have to do the abnormal, to achieve your goal. Salute to everybody. Y'all be safe and have a good week.
Yes, sir. And JB, your last some words to get us out of here.
Man, we did a little, show, longer than usual, just to make up for the show we didn't have because of Memorial Day weekend. Everybody was shaking and moving. Well, we were shaking and moving. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. But, man, y'all have a great rest of y'all Sunday and weekend, and then have a great work week. Hope it's more blessed than the weekend, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This was another installment of the Southern Baller Show. Y'all be blessed. Hope y'all enjoyed.